Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-684-2297. 800-684-2297. 800-684-2297.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, everybody.
Can't get enough
That's
of the Rich
funniest
Eisen
week
Show.
one outcome.
You're in
the capital F funniest week one outcome. Because that is Saturday night on ABC. College game day is going to be in Baton Rouge. Lane Kiffin, LSU, all this stuff. If little old Clemson drives the Roy bus down there and brings their own guts and tells Tyler from Spartanburg to go read the Old Testament again and wins that game, you're like lock up Chip and Danny Canales. We're going to be awful. We're going to be insufferable if that happens.
It's the Adam Gold Show. How's everybody?
Oh, look.
What?
You got your headphones on today.
Yeah.
Yes. That feels like I don't have to wave the airplane down now.
You should have had the batons.
I know.
That would have been so much better.
That's what I needed, yeah.
That would have been so much better.
That's really what I needed.
I just need needed the volume up. That's all I needed, which I didn't have yesterday.
No.
So I couldn't hear. We were sitting here. It was about right now.
Yep.
When I joined the show.
And I started thinking, all right, we're going to talk about UFC.
Is that really where we were going to start yesterday?
Maybe. There was a big card. It was a fun card last weekend. So wasn't
it the like breakfast with kicking, punching and kicking, or is it this week?
As I like to call it, a little brunch and punch.
Yeah.
No, that one was actually later, but there had been a couple cards that were brunch and punch.
Yeah, because they're like overseas. They're
and they start at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, look, people get in fights at 8 a.m.
Oh, yeah, they do.
You just don't know.
Just driving this Raleigh traffic.
It's not that bad.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad, Adam.
It's not that bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I mean, I've sat in traffic. It's not that terrible.
Oh, yeah. There's so many people right now yelling at their radio, like, "Yeah, okay, Adam."
Like, look, I don't want to play those games, but you have no concept. No concept.
Trust me, I hear it from family. Like,
right.
I drove in Chicago traffic or whatever. I get it, but people are really on edge when they're driving. And
that is real. And I'm not saying that there isn't traffic.
Yeah, there's just too many people moving here too fast. The roads can't keep up with them. But that's in my neck of the woods.
I've got issues. There's a Seinfeld episode where they're taking the Long Island Expressway to go to the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. George Costanza was like, "It's a suicide mission." It's true.
It is so true.
It's very true.
Oh, man.
I don't want to play that.
I need to watch Seinfeld. I really do.
This is going to sound very hot takey. The first 5 seasons of Seinfeld, and I don't know how many seasons it was on, it was as good of a sitcom as there has ever been.
Yeah.
It's all based on Seinfeld's, comedy bits, but the first 4 or 5 seasons, it was next level. It was good. It was occasionally great.
Yeah.
But it was not always amazing. Similar to like a lot of the shows that we watch today in the seasons, as we get like further in, we've talked about it. Like Yellowstone was good for like 3 seasons, and then now we're
the
like
spinoffs.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling these spinoffs. See, look, the people get it. My people in the YouTube stream, you can find us on YouTube, so go there. You can add to this. We got people. I love this. Raleigh traffic will turn you into Pulp Fiction. Yes. I-40 traffic this morning was nuts. Yes. Capitol Boulevard, literally, I think people think it's bumper cars out there. I don't know what's going on. And the amount of people who don't use their blinker blows my... Stormy? Yes. Check your blinker fluid when you get in your car.
Stormy?
Yes, our friend Stormy.
Oh, okay. I thought like Stormy.
He's got a lot of traffic out there by Lenovo Center.
I'm sure. I'm sure we're not that far from traffic being a deal.
Yeah.
Out at Lenovo Center.
Yeah.
What is today? The 27th. So Saturday, it'll be exactly 1 month.
Yep.
Until the opener.
Yep.
Exactly 1 month. Until the opener. And I have Canes things on my brain. There was I think I might have mentioned this yesterday. Actually, I mentioned it with Jordan Martinook yesterday. There was a question, I forget who put it out, but it was a good thought-provoking question about name an iconic goal in your favorite team's history. And my answer was Jordan Stahl's go-ahead goal, Game 4, Stanley Cup Final, this past June in Vegas. There was the tie-breaking goal that made it 4-3 Hurricanes, and they hung on from there and won it 4-2. I think they might have scored an empty net goal. Might have been 5-3. I don't even remember, to be honest, which is sad. But the Hurricanes had already become the better team, but it was still 3-3. And you had to get in front. And that was the play where Jarvis should have scored, but kind of blew the opportunity, golden opportunity, right in the dead slot alone with Carter Hart. But then fought to get the puck back, and Ehlers fed Stahl across the crease, and Stahl kind of stumbled, and as he's going down, chipped it over Carter Hart for 4-3. And for me, the reason that's the thing I thought about was I thought it embodied everything that this team was about. If Carolina were better at finishing those chances, those types of chances, then they would be close to setting offensive records. We all know it. How many opportunities? Carolina needs a few more opportunities than the other teams they play generally to get to the same number. Now, they get them based on the way they play and how good they are. So they get those opportunities, so it all balances out. But it's certainly not a high shooting percentage team, which is fine. But I'm just saying that we have a lot of breakaways that don't get finished, right? There are... Man, how did they not score? How many times do we say that? And it's not just because it's a great save. Sometimes it's because, well, we didn't put the puck on the net. And that goal embodied so much. It was created by defense, and then it was not finished by, arguably, maybe the best finisher they've got on the team in Jarvis. But then his work ethic gets the puck back. Ehlers makes a smart play to find Stahl, and Stahl's kind of, gangliness, if you could say that a 6'4.5", 230-pound mammoth is gangly. But he just figured out a way to get it in. And it kind of spoke to what kind of postseason he had. That gave them the lead. He's laying on the ice, face down. His teammates are mobbing his back. And they get that one to the finish line, and then we all saw what happened in games 5 and 6. Home game 5. They didn't cruise. They dominated. Game 6 suffocated Vegas. And they win the Stanley Cup. But anyway, that goal to me, when I close my eyes and I think back about the playoff run, that's the one I think about. The one Jordan Martinook brought up yesterday. Seth Jarvis's overtime game winner. Manny Diaz on the show yesterday. He was at that game, right? He said that was like the most energy I've ever seen at a sporting event. I'm paraphrasing what he said. But, you know, if you think about what, because Manny wound the siren for Game 2 during the Ottawa series, which is an awesome experience. And he was right. You don't realize you got to bring it. And you got to hang on to it as long as you can, because there is no regaining that momentum if you ever do the siren. They will occasionally ask fans to do the siren, so any of those fans listening, when you start, go hard, and go hard as you can for as long as you can, because I don't care what kind of shape you're in. If you allow momentum to wane, you will not get it back. Will not. It's sort of like it's a metaphor for sports. It's very, very difficult to regain momentum in sports. So, but that Jarvis goal that in overtime that won Game 2, and I wanted to ask Martinook yesterday if in conversations, Gostisbehere, I know he spent a ton of time with post, in the week-long celebration after winning the Cup. I wanted to ask him, did you talk to Shane? Was that all a setup? Was it always going to be a fake shot, pass over to Jarvis? Because if you remember the play, Carolina had taken the lead on the power play. Gostisbehere, I think, got the goal with a is it Gostisbehere or was it, I think Stahl deflected it in, right? But it was a Gostisbehere shot that ends up making it 3-2. Now, later on, Mark Stone scored off of Jacob Slavin to tie it and send it to overtime. But a power play goal got Carolina the lead after they ultimately tied it on the Jankowski goal, which was really a great play by William Carrier. We could go through the entire playoffs if you want. It is so vivid. But the setup, because Gostisbehere said to the guys as they were going back out on the ice to the start of the power play, they ain't going to let me shoot. So he told both the wingers, guys in the circles, Aho on the right, Jarvis on the left, be ready. They are not going to let me shoot. And Nick Ehlers came out from down low and kind of jumped up in the air. Because whether he thought that Gostisbehere was going to shoot it or not, he jumped up in the air as though to avoid the shot, which helped sell the fake. I would love to know that whole conversation, how that whole conversation takes place. Anyway, fascinating stuff, and I am definitely ready for the start of the season.
I thought you meant start of the show.
No, it's fine. But I am ready for the start of the season.
Oh, me too.
Let's get it
I'm excited.
Going. All right, we're also ready for the start of the NFL season.
Yeah.
I know college football starts on Saturday, so we'll talk about that here in this segment as well. Dave Canales says the starters are not going to play against Houston tomorrow night.
Have they not earned it? Sorry.
It is the last. Look, I get it. I would have no problem if he wanted to see more from the starters. If he wanted to see Bryce and company go out for a series or two, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be, oh, no, you can't do that. Look, they didn't perform well enough as a group. This is not hanging it on any one individual. They did not perform well enough as a group over preseason game 1, either of the joint practices or preseason game 2. So if Canales wanted to send Bryce Young and the first team offense out there one more time, I'd be okay with it. At this point, I'm not worried. It's easy for me to say. I'm not worried about the injury factor, because you cannot approach any game with that in mind, unless we are talking about like the last game of the regular season, when everything in the regular season has already been accomplished and you know you're going to the playoffs and you have nothing to play for. That's the only game where, I am not taking an injury risk here. Because especially if you are not finely tuned going to the start of the season, I do think you can make an argument that you need every possible opportunity to get that. And Friday night against the Houston Texans is the last opportunity for that.
Yep.
Not going to get that in practice.
No.
They're done with the joint practice. So, with that said, I don't feel strongly one way or the other. He should, they shouldn't. But I would certainly not argue if Canales wanted to put them on the field. Obviously, he says he doesn't. All right, so what is left to deal with as we get to the start of the season or as we get to tomorrow night? There are still, as best we can tell, 2 wide receiver spots to battle for. Canales said there's a chance they keep 7 wide receivers, but it's probably not a good one, right? And we know the top 3, as long as Xavier Legette is good to go health-wise, it'll be McMillan, Legette, and Coker. Those will be the top 3. Bryce and Tremaine, because of his special teams ability and he's a great blocker as well at wide receiver. He'll be wide receiver 4, even though he's really more wide receiver 6. Maybe we're battling it out for wide receiver 4 and 5 spots, and Bryce and Tremaine is wide receiver 6. So who are those particulars? It's John Mechie, who had a big game against Jacksonville, and I believe is leading the Panthers in receiving over the course of the preseason, which preseason stats do not matter. Jimmy Horn, who Canales has praised for his development and his progress as a receiver and as a returner, and his speed, and he's starting to know all the routes and all of that. So Mechie, Horn, Jasim Reed, Washington. Now, I think Reed and Washington are both bigger players. Is that the route that Dave Canales needs to go? You've got pretty good size in your top 3 receivers. If they start the season with Darren Waller on the 53-man roster, if he's good enough to go, then that's another big body in the receiving game, and I would argue that Darren Waller's more receiver than tight end. So you can afford even 2 smaller receivers. And then you've got the David Moore angle here, and I've been saying all along, all respect to David Moore. I just don't think the Panthers are in a position to waste a roster spot on a security blanket for the head coach. I really don't. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Moore here or to Canales. They just need guys who impact the game. And you may need wide receiver 4 and 5 to impact the game. And Mechie and Horn or Reed or Washington, I think, impact the game more than David Moore. Maybe it's telling that when going through that, Canales did not really mention David Moore. And maybe Moore is released. They signed to the practice squad. He hangs around, provides some leadership. And then if you get to a point where, you know what, we could use David Moore this week, you can just activate him. I mean, you get a couple of times where you can activate a guy off the practice squad before you actually have to put him on the 53-man roster. All right, so you got the wide receiver spot. The inside linebacker spot next to Devin Lloyd is still unsettled. Here's my take on it. I don't think either player is starter quality on a really good team. Neither of them. I think they're both depth pieces, but that's what the Panthers have right now. They have 2 depth pieces battling it out for a starting spot at the other inside linebacker spot, to the point where this is what I keep reading. That we're talking about, well, Trayvon Merrick is really, really good in the run game. So when we go to multiple, more than 4, more than 5 wide receivers, nickel and dime packages, Merrick is really actually acting like a linebacker. Yeah, well, maybe he is. That's fine. I'm not knocking it. But ultimately, at that point, you're admitting that you don't have a second inside linebacker. And that is something that might be available on the waiver wire. I don't know. So that spot is up for grabs. And these are not necessarily concerns of mine. I'm going to get to a concern in a second. But they need to shore up the defensive line for people not named Derek Brown. I know Turk Wharton's going to be out for a good chunk of the season. He should. My understanding is he will be back. Just don't know how much of the year he's going to miss. But they need better from the Bobby Browns of the world. It can't be Derek Brown being your only really good defensive lineman. Everybody else has to get better. So that'll be worth keeping an eye on. There's good in there, but there's not a ton of impact in there. Now, the real concern is in the offensive line. Because while Damian Lewis has stayed healthy, he has been banged up during the preseason. Robert Hunt has had a problem staying healthy, and he has also been banged up during the preseason. My take is that if their starters are healthy, then the Panthers' offensive line is fine. If their starters are not healthy, their offensive line is terrible. To me, that's the range. Because if your offensive line gets caved in the middle, it doesn't matter how good your tackles are. And according to Pro Football Focus, in the preseason games so far, the offensive guard spots, except for Hunt and Lewis, have given up too many pressures and too many sacks. So, Chandler Zavala, bless his heart. Brady Christensen coming back from the Achilles hasn't been so great. I think we have to get to a point where Sam Hecht is maybe the center, but I'm not even sure that is. I mean, I know there's a lot of promise there, but I'm not even sure that he is ready to be a week one factor. So if they don't have Hunt and Lewis, I think there are concerns offensively. All right, let's get to some college football. Carolina, TCU, noon Saturday, Dublin, Ireland. By the way, the stadium looks very cool. I know I saw our friend Rod Baxley, who covers the Tar Heels for the Fayetteville Observer. Didn't realize he graduated from Dublin High School.
I didn't know that.
In North Carolina.
Wow, look at
and
him
he
go.
is in Dublin right now, so he made that leap for us on Twitter. It's raining and cool in Ireland, which is summer.
Right.
Perfect.
Wow. On
brand for Ireland. I'm looking forward to the game. I am looking forward to football for UNC. Dan Orlovsky, bless his heart, for ESPN. Big picture.
Can everyone pump the brakes? I'm trying to dunk on Coach Belichick. We're talking about one of the greatest football coaches of all time, and everybody that talks about Bobby Petrino raves about him as an offensive mind. We don't think those two guys are going to make it a little bit better? And the distractions, for the most part this offseason, have been gone in comparison to last year at North Carolina. I know the Lombardi situation got some noise for like 48 hours, but that distraction's removed. The conversation of the girlfriend and the distraction of last year, at least the noise that it brought, that's been gone this offseason. And if we watched North Carolina for the most part last year, a lot of their major flaws were fundamental things. Tackling, effort to the football, blocking through the whistle, like basic stuff. The greatest coach of all time, that was in part because of those things, I think he's going to fix a lot of that stuff. I'm not telling everybody that this team's going to go to the college football playoff.
Just more competent?
I think we're going to get a significantly improved, just fundamentally sound, basic football team.
Some of that is very true. And yeah, I think we talked to Chip Patterson about this yesterday. He expects improvement from this team. It's also a different team So last year's team is not this year's team. There's not that much holdover from last year's team. And he's right, Orlovsky, that the distractions, for the most part, are gone. It was every day, it seemed, last year, another story about Jordan Hudson and whatever, right? We haven't had that this offseason. We haven't had the CBS News debacle. We haven't had, any of those, like, TMZ level issues. But this team needed a lot more than they'll be a little bit better. And with the schedule what it is, they're going to have to be a whole lot better, which is, I guess is possible, in order to really impact the record. As for people anxious to dunk on Bill Belichick, look, when you operate with a level of arrogance as Bill Belichick has, whether you make a lot of enemies is the right way to say it. I don't think it is, but I'll just use that for now. There are people who are waiting to just kind of turn the knife when things don't go well. But I said when he got here, it doesn't matter if it was the right decision or not. If they get players, and that's still the issue, if they can get players, I think he'll be fine. But you got to get players. And I'm not sure they have enough good players, but we'll see starting Saturday. All right, real quick, Courage, good win last night. 2-0 over Angel City. Ashley Sanchez has 15 goals in 21 matches. 15 goals in 21 matches. Back-to-back braces for her, by the way. This 3-game homestand we talked about before, they lost the first one, come from ahead loss to Houston, who's not very good. They had a 2-1 lead late, gave up 2 late goals, lost 3-2 at home, but won the next 2. Sit 5th right now in the table, but a good stretch as they go 2-0-1. I don't know, did they list the losses last in the NWSL table, or they list the losses second? Regardless, 2 wins, no draws, 1 loss over their last 3. Believe they're on the road. Is it Washington coming up on the Kansas City? I think they're at the Current on the weekend. And the Tour Championship is underway. The final event on the PGA Tour's season this year. 2 years from now, they will be playing match play, not stroke play. Match play, a little bit more exciting for those people who only watch during the Ryder Cup. And by the way, we are going to talk to Brad Fritsch about the future of the PGA Tour and what to do with all those dastardly players who went to live. Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoots, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Football is back. NFL preseason is back, and the excitement is there. The Panthers looked great in the Hall of Fame preseason game. Haynes King was electric. They got the win. Everybody celebrated. But let's pump the brakes a little bit. Kenny Pickett is still the backup quarterback. It's still Bryce Young's team. Haynes King can be a nice piece.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
If you've ever thought about joining the riding community, there's more people here by your side than you probably realize. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Law Tigers, and if you're a rider, then you know there are plenty of clubs you can join or friends you might meet along the way. But because riding can be a risky hobby, there's always the threat of getting into an accident while on your motorcycle. And just as important as it is to check things like tire pressure, gauges, and gear, it's just as important to be prepared for the what-ifs. And at Law Tigers, they're riders too, so they get it. They have the passion for the road and feeling that special kind of freedom, so it's not what they do, it's who they are. They've helped thousands of riders for over 25 years, so they've seen it all. And at Law Tigers, your case evaluations are always free, so they won't get paid until your case settles. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible, so call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out the Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
I'm Sam, owner of Marino's Landscape. With my Chase Ink Business Premier Card, I earn unlimited 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more. So everything I buy to run my landscaping business gives me cash back to help throw a big thank you party for my team. For all they do.
Chase Ink. Cashback built for every business. Find the right card at chase.com/ink. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Are you currently taking weight loss injections, but worried about the side effects or the muscle loss? Or maybe you're just tired of slow progress or a monthly bill that never goes away. At Raleigh Weight Loss Center, we have the off-ramp you've been looking for. We show you how to transition from medication dependence to metabolic freedom. The proprietary nutraceuticals we use helps protect your muscle and stimulates natural fat burning, so you can finally get the results you want without relying on a pharmacy forever. Deep down, we know that better health comes from better habits, not better chemistry. Let us help you take back control.
Hey, this is Dennis from 99.9 The Fan. Summer is ending, and now is the time to prioritize yourself. Get your confidence back and set your long-term health goals. Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Schedule your free 15-minute phone consultation with Raleigh Weight Loss Center and see if their program is right for you. Schedule today by calling 919-897-7506. That's 919-897-7506 or online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
This is Adam Gold.
540.
Yeah.
Right, the big outer belt loop. Why don't we just call them inner loop and outer loop? Don't give me north, south, east. It changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a circle.
Yeah, they should. They use it for belly buttons.
Right, inner and outer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Use it for belt lines.
All right, I'm done with the rant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. PGA Tour final event of the season is the Tour Championship. It is underway. Victor Hovland, Adam Scott, Ryan Fox, who won the Open, Tom Kent, Bobby McIntyre, and was it Alex Smalley are all 1 under par. Did Smalley go to Duke? And they are tied for lead, obviously very early on in the event. Brad Fritsch, PGA Tour legend, a winner on the Web.com tour when it was the Web.com, not the Korn Ferry Tour, and a Campbell golf legend is joining us on the Adam Gold Show. By the way, there's an opening for Red Rooster Golf. You guys, if you guys can develop a whole bunch of merchandise, I know there are stores that have empty shelves right now. We'll get to that maybe at the end of this conversation, but just planting the bug for you and your partners. All right, let me ask you about the new tour, which is, we're still a year away from it because they'll play 27 as they did 26, basically same format. They announced the schedule already. But what are your thoughts on a championship series and a challenger series? I don't like the name of that. But what are your thoughts on a on a split tour with the top 120 here and the next basically 150 or more in another tour?
Well, they just gave it a name. It's always existed. If you go back through the years, new members, so it used to be that there would be 50 or so new members every year coming from both the Korn Ferry Tour and Q School, right?
Right.
And your access was severely limited in the tournaments that everyone would play. So you go down the list like LA. I never got to play in the LA Open, now Genesis, Riviera, whatever you want to call it. I played once at the Honda. I played once at the Valspar. It was a pretty popular event. Never got to play Colonial. Never got to play Memorial. Now, some of those are invitationals, and they're done from the previous year and all that. But it's always been a two-tiered tour. And if you didn't get off to a really good start as a new member, you were sort of I don't want to say relegated, because you still had a chance. You know, you could go out and win tournaments and have top 5s and top 10s and get in later on in the year. But it was difficult if you didn't get off to a good start to play a lot of events. You know, my second year, I finished 128th in the FedEx Cup in 2013.
Yeah.
And I actually went back to they had a playoffs in the Korn Ferry, and I finished second in one event and got better status than 128. And I only played 18 events that year. And it was because I didn't get off to a good start in the first 5 to 10 events. And so later on down, when these guys are playing, let's say, San Antonio, I'm playing Puerto Rico as an opposite field. Fewer points, fewer money, less money available. So it's always been a two-tiered PGA Tour. That they gave it a name and a structure, I think it makes it better, because now guys aren't, having to decide like, hey, I'm first alternate here, or do I go over to, Puerto Rico, or now it's Dominican Republic for the opposite field event. It's just very structured in a way that everyone knows exactly what they're going to play.
Yeah, and well, let me just jump in, and just to kind of put a bow on that, and because there will not be sponsors exemptions, and the top 120, that's it. We might have only 75 players of that top 120 show up for a certain event, and those are the only people who will play in it. So it is a closed shop for that particular season. I don't know if there are opportunities to play your way into it, but there will be no invitation. You can come. Memorial will stop being that. It'll be, here's the top 120. These are the people who are eligible, and that's it. And I think you're right. And it'll be easier for players to set their schedule who are not part of that 120, and maybe easier to get better. So there's not a lot of uncertainty and whatnot. Just won't be opportunities to play in those events. Brad Fritsch is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Are you cool as a fan? Because now I guess you're a fan, except when you go and crush it in pro-ams or member guests. Are you a fan of match play for the Tour Championship? Because I actually think what they're doing here is a good idea, even though the Tour doesn't like match play because they don't know who's going to be available.
Yeah, I think that every time they've rolled out a new plan for the Tour Championship, I've thought, okay, it's something new. Let's see if it works. Like, it all sounds good in theory. I think the most important thing that happened over the last week was, in the past, Jay Monahan would roll out and there was this, 50-point presentation on how it was going to work. And this was, hey, it's 32 guys in pods of 8, top 16 advance to the next week, 16 guys go to match play the final week. We crown the champion. Like, that's super simple, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a departure from what they've done in the past. And look, every time that they tried something new, it wasn't just Jay Monahan. It was a, committee of players and all that. And they had to think through so many scenarios. And, you had one year it was double or triple the points if you won a tournament, and all of a sudden, if you didn't have a great year, all of a sudden you were in the top 3 going into the Tour Championship. And I'm sure that the guys who were in the top 3 originally said, what the heck is going on? I've beaten the brakes off of this guy all year. So it is a very foreign concept, I think, for the Tour to rely on match play like this. However, I think that in general, you have the best chance of getting really good names out of those final 16 that go from the first week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the whole thing. Like, I don't think people care if it's Scotty versus, pick a name out of a hat, Victor Hovland at the end.
Sure.
I think it's that Scotty played during the week.
Yeah.
Like he was there and he had a chance. And, the vagaries of match play dictate that you could play very, very average and win your match.
Mm-hmm.
And you could shoot 8 under par in your match and lose your match. That's possible. So I think the added aspect of the golf course, whichever golf courses they choose, they're going to be ones that a lot of people have never seen before. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a big deal too. It sort of appeals to the very, the traditionalists, I'd say. You've never seen, I think Pine Valley and Cypress are probably a pipe dream.
Right.
But golf courses that the typical golf fan is never going to play, for one, and rarely ever sees.
Here's the thing. Rory mentioned it, that when you get to the Rory McIlroy, if people don't know who I'm referring to, when he was asked about the match play final, he goes, we can go to places that like 6,600 yards that we would never go to now, because when you play match play, par is irrelevant. It just doesn't matter. So they could go to a place that's 6,600 yards. I'm not sure there are any courses on this earth that are, championship quality that are 6,600 yards, but they don't need 7,500 yard golf courses where all the par fours have to be close to 500 yards. Otherwise, they're hitting driver wedge, which they're doing anyway, as we saw last week in Belle Reve, 500 some odd yard par four, and it's driver pitching wedge for a lot of the guys. Brad Fritsch is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Before I ask you about what to do with the returning live guys, I saw this yesterday and I thought, you know what? There is a point here, because you and I have had conversations back when Bryson DeChambeau was penalized 2 strokes at the Open Championship for, my opinion, impacting his lie, walking behind the ball. Wyndham Clark sort of did it again at the BMW, laying his clubs behind the ball when it's in the rough a few times. He did it at the U.S. Open back in 23, stepping behind his ball for some strange reason to test out the grass on the other side of the ball, tamping down his lie on the green. You're allowed to tamp down spike marks now. You used to not be able to, smoothing out his putting line. Have we lost track of the rules?
It's I think when you started being able to ground your club in hazards, I lost all perspective on the rules. Like they made it, they started to make it so player friendly. And of course there are still rules. That there was one on the European Tour this weekend where the guy sort of kicked away a divot that was replaced and he got a penalty and he was, around the lead. But specifically the Wyndham Clark thing with the club behind the ball, I've done that hundreds of times, and at no point did I ever think, boy, I'm cheating. Like the first time that you put the club behind the ball isn't necessarily when you're about to hit it, in my opinion.
Right.
Now, this part of the country with Bermuda, you would never do it because the chances that it's really unstable in that grass is very high.
Yeah.
Like the grass is just not got a lot of support underneath it, so you're never going to ground your club until you hit your shot. And really, sometimes you hover the club even at address when you're about to hit your shot, because the ball sits up in that nest of Bermuda grass in the rough. So that's something that you really have to watch. But in terms of when it's bent grass rough, like I don't think he's pressing down with any force. He's just seeing like, hey, what does a 6-iron look like out of here? It doesn't look good. All right, let's try 7. Okay, yeah, that looks like possible. Like he's assessing possibilities, and I don't think at any point that a player in his position is looking to, improve his lie. I just don't believe that. When you have your feet start to get involved, then we've got a problem, because that's not natural. That's not, in the course of addressing your ball or anything. You don't walk close to your ball regardless. That's not something a player does.
Brad Fritsch is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, we have about 2 minutes left here. So if put yourself in a player's mindset, And I'm not to tell you, you could be Patrick Cantlay or you could be Rory McIlroy. I don't care which player you put yourself, but you're a PGA Tour player because you were. The guys from LIV want to come back. What do you think the tour should do? And I'm not talking about the rank and file. I'm not talking about the Taylor Gooches of the world, although he's a very good player. I'm talking about Rahm, Hatton, DeChambeau, maybe Cam Smith, Joaquin Niemann, some of the really good players who would make your tour better because it would make your fields better. Those players want to come back. What do you do?
I think you just go about it the way you went about the Brooks Koepka way of coming back, which is he felt it. It's a little bit embarrassing, right? Like you're somewhat. They know that you're spending $25 million in some way, shape, or form. Ugh, that doesn't feel good. And I think that it's a message to the players who stayed. Like it's a thank you. It's a hey, you stuck it out. And regardless of where the tour is right now, which is in a phenomenal position in terms of their purses and how they've gone up because of LIV, they had to match or they had to come close to matching that payout. I think it's just a message to the players who stayed, and especially the superstars, that it's a big thank you and it's a nod to them. And I would sort of pursue it just the way that they did with Brooks Koepka. I heard that's off the table, maybe, but that's how I would address it, because you're getting back really good players and players with some market, value, even though there's no needle among those guys, even Bryson, because if there was a needle mover in there, LIV wouldn't have gone the way it did.
So my comment when Rory McIlroy had those things to say last week, well, they didn't move the needle for LIV, right? Which was rude and maybe unnecessary, but he wasn't wrong. And people could not grasp the concept that while it was rude, and I'm a Rory apologist, he wasn't wrong.
No, he's not wrong. And the fact that it's, one of them is his Ryder Cup teammate, and I think they should be fairly close. Yeah. I think probably not anymore. It's really hard to separate friendships from business, right? And this is huge business.
Yeah.
Like billions of dollars. So it's really hard to separate that. And that's why the players shouldn't have been sort of the lead in communication in a lot of this. Because they're talking about friends, colleagues. At the end of the day, you got to go play with this guy a lot. I mean, it might as well be cordial, and stuff like this just makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's got to be in a team room at some point with these guys too. We play Ryder Cups or President's Cups or things like that. All right, now I know you got gloves, you got hats. We need polos, we need pullovers, we need all sorts of stuff because there are empty shelves at Target and Dick's Sporting Goods and Golf Galaxy and PGA Tour Superstore because all the good stuff has been taken down right now. We'll talk about that issue another time, but I think there's an opportunity for Red Rooster, Brad.
Well, it must have been a while since you browsed the website because we got T-shirts, we got polos. Today was our vest drop, a reversible vest.
I saw.
No, they're not. They're on my shelves. They're not on these shelves, but they're on mine.
Get them on their shelves. All right, Brad, you're the man. I appreciate your time.
All right, take care, Adam.
You got it, Brad Fritsch. Red Rooster Golf started out with gloves. Now they got shirts, polos, hats,
all kinds,
vests. I love it.
Yep.
All right, one-timers. You ask questions. We've got answers next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You probably know that rechargeable batteries power electronics like mobile phones, gaming devices, and power tools. But did you know these batteries are also found in devices like electric toothbrushes, CPAP machines, and many more, and should not be disposed of in your trash or recycling bins as they can cause fires? To see a list of devices with lithium-ion batteries and where to dispose of them safely, visit batterysafe.nc.gov. That's batterysafe.nc.gov. Remember, skip the bin. Turn your batteries in.
Did
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Gear up this fall with the new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. And a fast charge time of just 10 minutes means it's ready when you are. The All-Pro battery is just the upgrade your shed has been waiting for. Outperform the outdoors with battery tools by Steel. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power. Comparison between AP300PC and AP300S. 10-minute charge time to reach 80% with AL1602MO.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we're looking at issues that affect families in every corner of North Carolina. Maternal health. My guest is Marissa Franks from the North Carolina Healthcare Foundation, who shares information about the Maternal Health Action Network.
No single hospital or organization can solve maternal mortality alone. It takes all of us in healthcare and in our communities to do that. But by sharing knowledge, listening to patients, partnering with communities, addressing barriers to care, and implementing proven practices, we can make a real difference. So I think our work demonstrates what's possible when healthcare organizations come together around a common goal, which is helping every mother and baby have the healthiest possible start.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Your child's doctor shares your goals. A healthy future for your child. Doctors recommend vaccines throughout childhood because they protect what matters most. Your child's future from preventable disease and serious illness. Discuss any questions you have and check that your child is up to date and talk about any concerns. You're right to have questions. Get real answers. Start a conversation with your doctor today. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you are buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box
yeah.
in
Went
the car.
to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria producing. Joel Bryant, high school OT, top of the hour. Talk about the games of the week coming up in high school football. Look back to last week. Also, Joe Person from The Athletic covers the Panthers next hour as well.
We love him, too.
A lot of football. Eric MacLain from the ACC Network, Clemson star, coming up in hour 3. So we've got high school, college, and pro football covered today. Exactly what you were looking for.
Yes.
Plus, we talked hockey. And plus, it's time for one-timers.
And it's National Peach Day, and it makes me think of that song.
National Peach Day?
Yeah. It's, it's a national day of something every day.
It's a grapefruit, by the way.
It is.
I'm a huge fan of a peach.
Well, you know what? I'll start this off one-timers with that then. What's your favorite form of peaches? We have like peach cobbler, peach ice cream, canned peaches. Do you have a favorite?
The peach.
Just by itself.
The actual peach.
Yeah.
Is amazing. I prefer a white flesh peach to a golden flesh peach.
Yeah.
Both are great, but it's a very, very supremely, criminally underrated fruit.
Yeah. I could say it's probably not even in my top 5 fruits, but I do like a peach cobbler. Or a homemade peach ice cream is delicious.
The flavor of peach is unreal.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
We have peaches in our kitchen right now.
Oh, yum. I
also
know.
Nectarines.
Apparently, you were up to your eyeballs in tomatoes and cucumbers, but
the cucumber season apparently is over.
Oh,
we're not
okay.
really spitting cucumbers out like we were.
Yeah.
The tomato season, I think, has just begun.
Oh.
I must have 100 Roma tomatoes in the house.
You need to bring some in, sir.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I do.
So,
I do.
First up from Chuck, because you
or
can
make spaghetti sauce.
Oh yes, make that. You jar those. You can leave one-timers on our YouTube stream or at me on Twitter, which this one comes from my Twitter from Chuck. Which Triangle area team is most likely to win Week 1 or Week 0, if you would prefer? A, UNC versus Texas Christian, B, NC State at Virginia, or C, Duke at home versus Tulane.
Well, the Duke is next week. They don't play till next week. So this week, and I think both State and Carolina have games next week, I think. So they have 2 opportunities. I'll say between Carolina and State. I'll say State. Both are underdogs. I think Duke will be a favorite next week against Tulane. I don't know what kind of team Tulane's going to have, to be perfectly honest. I think the following week, is it State's got East Tennessee next week?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. But I'll just tackle this week first, and I'll say State.
Okay. Next up from Brian on our YouTube stream. Did you see the post of Slavin taking the cup to Prime Barbecue, ate ribs from the cup? What food/drink would you put in the cup?
Barbecue from the cup. Good for Slavin. What a year he has had.
He should have put a sundae in the cup.
What would I eat from the cup? I would eat my chili, my own chili from the cup.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The Pack Therapy Podcast is in session, thanks to the Red and White Shop. Join me, Tim Donnelly, alongside Wolfpack great Mike Glennon.
We'll set you up every week for Wolfpack football with inside information and insight into every opponent.
Plus, we break down the game-changing X's and O's.
And what to keep your eye on as we roll towards the college football postseason.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch on YouTube.
Labor Day deals are looking good at Lowe's. Save $10 on 1-gallon cans and $50 on 5-gallon pails of select interior paint via rebate. Plus, get 2 2.5-quart or 3-quart mums for just $8. A fresh look and savings? Even better. Labor Day deals are on now at Lowe's, in-store and online. Valid through 9/9. While supplies last. Mum sizes vary by location and exclude Alaska and Hawaii. See store at Lowe's.com for more details.
Hey, it's Paul Lyhander for DraftKings. Something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive offers, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. Sign up with DraftKings today with code Paul and get ready to celebrate the biggest day of the season, whatever you're betting. DraftKings Game Day has deals dropping all day long. One app, every sport. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Mark the date. September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of your new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with code Paul. Spend $5 to get $200 in bonus bets within 21 days. That's code Paul. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 in non-withdrawable bonus bets issued every 7 days via click-to-claim for 21 days. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 25% upfront bonus? And are they promising you up to 9% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They aren't. That's up to $25,000 upfront or up to $9,000 per year on $100,000, guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Unlock your Trajan family office at TrajanWealth.com or call 1-855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. DBA in most states has Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait,
what? Also objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
We have gotten to this point because we have allowed exception after exception. And wisely, the people who charge by billable hours have figured that out. And then what you can do is you can use exceptions to set precedent. And that's why we're almost in a lawless profession. And so, at some point, we've got to get a hold of that. And whether that's the conferences, setting rules like you mentioned, if it can't happen, with one umbrella that we can all fit under, then that's what we have to do going forward. And unfortunately, listen, someone's going to have to be disappointed. And I hate to say it like as a coach or as a parent or anybody, but we can't damn give everybody ice cream every day and make everybody happy.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. That was Manny Diaz from yesterday, Duke head football coach. We were talking about the cutoff incoming class of 2022. Got nothing. Coal from the NCAA. Lawsuits abound. And that's in large part why we have what we have right now in college athletics, football, men's basketball. They're not the only ones, but they're the primary ones because those are the ones I guess we focus on. But this is a mess of the NCAA's making. We'll talk about that more a little bit later on. It hasn't really impacted high school because, frankly, these kids are not going. Although, I don't know, maybe if a high schooler wanted to go back and play in middle school, I don't know. Maybe it would matter then. Or if a college kid wanted to go back and play in high school. Not sure that would work. Joel Bryant, managing editor, highschoolot.com. We started. The season started last week.
Yeah, kind of. It was mostly on Thursday, so it wasn't really a Friday night season type game.
But did that for weather.
Yeah. It's been a crazy month. Between the scrimmages and the first couple of weeks here, we've had no normal weeks of weather.
Right.
So it's been kind of tiring and hectic.
We should be getting back to normal this week, right?
This week, no. We have 60 games happening tonight. Yeah.
It doesn't. Is it going to rain tomorrow?
Yeah. Forecasted, for rain and
we can play in
storms
rain,
and
right?
We can. It's just the lightning.
Okay.
You can't have lightning within the
Right.
radius, and then you got to sit for 30 minutes, and then people don't like doing that. So no,
They don't.
It's important too because fans know if it's going to be nasty out there too, and they're going
Right.
to decide not to come to games. And these games of the gates are important to the schools, so
Very.
they want to play on the nicest night possible.
All right, did all the games get played in week 1?
I think all but 2 ended up being played. There was a game between White Oak and Northside Jacksonville that didn't happen, and there was kind of a controversial one between Independence out of Charlotte playing a team in South Carolina called Burns.
Okay.
And that game was called in the first quarter with Burns up. And initially it was going to be ruled as a no contest, but then I guess Burns did some kind of protest, and now Burns got the win there.
So Independence is 0-1.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Does it matter if you're playing a team outside of the state, let alone outside of your conference?
For playoffs or
Yeah,
no?
for anything.
No. So the teams from out of state count the same to our playoff formula, as long as they border the state. So the teams you play, like in Ohio or something, like Gibbons is playing a team in Ohio.
Really?
This year, they have a different kind of formula where their win percentage teams, the teams they're playing, their win percentage will only be 500. But as far as the teams that's like close to our state, it's complicated.
Ultimately,
but,
it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a couple of bullet point highlights from. They call it week 1 in high school, right?
Yes.
It's not week 0.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of bullet point highlights from week 1.
Well, number 1 team Huff kind of survived a strong team in South Carolina called Northwestern. Huff came back and won that, I believe, 19 to 15 or 15 to 10. Huff's offense is not quite on full strength right now. They lost a lot of receivers to graduation last year, but the defense is so good. That's a really good Northwestern team. They might be the best team in South Carolina. They held them to 10 points, so that's a good sign. The team that Huff played in last year's 8A state championship game, Millbrook, looked really, really good last week against Garner, 42-0 over Garner.
Whoa.
And I did pick Garner to go to the 7A state championship game before that game happened last Friday or last Thursday. So beating them 42-0 was
Still sticking with that?
probably not after that, but I mean, we knew Millbrook's defense is good, so the 0 is not very surprising, but the offense scoring 42 with all they lost from last year, that was kind of stunning. So a really good sign for Millbrook and their fans so far this season.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so those are your highlights. Who's Millbrook got this week? And are we looking at another 42-0 possibility?
They are playing Heritage, my alma mater, and they will probably win by more than that.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's happening tonight. So, yeah, they're going to win
Too
pretty
bad.
easily tonight.
Didn't Heritage have like an all-star coaching staff not that long ago?
Yeah, during the back half of the 2010s, they had Dwayne Washington coaching the team and a bunch of former NFL players.
Torrey Holt was up there coaching wide receivers.
Charles Johnson, rest in peace, Charles Johnson. Willie Parker was there as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they had a whole kind of all-star staff, and the team was really good when all those guys were there.
Who does Garner have? Who does Garner get well against?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'll pull it up for you. But for Garner, that offense just needs to do something. If you have a quarterback going to Campbell, you have A.J. Randall, he play on offense sometimes. He's the 4-star linebacker going to Miami. They're going to need to...
we talked to his mom.
Yeah, how would that conversation go?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's phenomenal.
Yeah. Garner's hosting Laney this week, which is an athletic team from Wilmington.
Yeah.
That's supposed
Michael Jordan's high school.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's not playing for them, though.
Good. He's ineligible.
He is ineligible. Well,
you never know.
We could be going to a place where he'll be eligible soon. I don't know, based on how things are going in college. But, yeah, so Laney's an athletic team. They have a new coach. Garner should be able to get right against them before they play Middle Creek next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so give me a couple of games that we have to look forward to this weekend and maybe starting tonight.
Yeah, so tonight, Northside Jacksonville, who I mentioned earlier, they're playing Jacksonville High School, which has a top 50 player in the junior class, a cornerback named Dominic Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Northside Jacksonville returns a bunch of stars from last year. Jacksonville beat them last year, but Jacksonville still has the best player in the game, and obviously the program kind of overall success, historically speaking. But Northside Jacksonville is pretty confident, and they have a chance to maybe get out of the 5A East And if they can beat Jacksonville tonight, that'd be a good sign for them.
Is this a natural rivalry because they're both out there?
Yeah, Northside Jacksonville and Jacksonville, yep. They're rivals. So.
How good is Jacksonville? You say Dominic Williams.
Jacksonville has as good of a shot as anybody to get through the 6A East. 6A East is kind of open this year between Scotland and Rose and Middle Creek as well. There's a lot of different teams that could win 6A East, but same with 5A. So we could be looking at tonight a game worth 2 state finalists potentially in the future.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, continue down your list of highlight games.
So of the 60 games tonight, the other one that's standing out to me is Cape Fear at 71st, or is that 71st at Cape Fear? Hold on. I think it's 71st at Cape Fear. Anyways, so last year, 71st at Cape Fear. Last year, both of them just won in complete domination. Total domination. 71st crushed Terry Sanford, which is normally a very good team out of Fayetteville.
Right.
And 71st has a new coach this year, so that was kind of unexpected, and they just throttled them by 40 points. So 71st at Cape Fear might be the 2 best teams in Fayetteville, and that's happening in week 2. So
Cape Fear is also in Fayetteville.
Yeah,
I don't know why I thought Cape Fear was down at the coast.
No, it's like outside Fayetteville, East Fayetteville. It's not really in Fayetteville, but just for general audience speaking, it's pretty much Fayetteville.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right,
but might be the 2 best teams in that area, and they're playing tonight early, so that's going to give you a good sense of how that whole area is kind of shaking out this year.
All right, do we have local games tonight? That when I say local, I'm talking about the Triangle. And then, because I know that there are people in Charlotte and the West, we'll get to those in a minute.
Yeah.
But what are the local games in the Triangle that people can
big one
focus
tonight?
on?
Potentially the Durham championship tonight between Southern Durham and Jordan. That's being played at Durham County Stadium. When we get these big Durham rivalries, they tend to play at that big stadium there because it's so much bigger than their high school stadiums. So obviously they're in different conferences. Southern Durham's in the more Durham centric conference, and Jordan plays with some Wake County teams in its conference because it's 5A or 8A. Those might be the 2 best teams in Durham this year, so that one's going to be really fun one tonight for bragging right purposes.
All right. What about let's go to Charlotte. What are the games that we should watch for in Charlotte? Shouts to all the people listening on WFNZ.
Yeah, the big one obviously is this weekend on Saturday. Cardinal Gibbons is going down to play Huff at Bank of America Stadium.
Wow.
Yep. And the Panthers.
At BOA.
Yeah, and the Keep Pounding Classic. They've been doing that for I think 4 or 5 years now. First time that Cardinal Gibbons has gone to it, but Huff was in it last year, I believe. Huff obviously is still number 1 team in the state, but Cardinal Gibbons looked really good last week against Dudley. Just absolutely crushed them.
Really?
So, we'll see how it goes. I mean, Huff, to me, I thought Huff probably should have won by more last week just based on the talent of the roster. So maybe Cardinal Gibbons with their solid coaching, maybe they have a plan. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, that's down there. What about in the mountains out to the west?
In the mountains. Let me see.
We got to cover all bases here.
Roll through it here. The big one in the mountains is really last week between Mount Airy and Star Mount. That's kind of, not really mountains, but kind of like foothills.
Sure.
Star Mount kind of erased the 5-game losing streak to Mount Airy. Those are two, like we're talking about 2A and 3A, so we don't really have that big of schools in the northwest part of the state. So the big one last week was that Star Mount win over Mount Airy, and for Star Mount to get that win, they're a team that could potentially face Tarboro in its 2A state championship. So for them to kind of get that monkey off their back, it's a good sign for them.
All right.
This week, honestly, the schedule's been moving so much, I can't tell you what's happening off the top of my head.
But and we've shifted games up. Joel Bryant, highschoolot.com, is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. When games are moved from traditionally Fridays to Thursdays, how has that impacted attendance? Has it been bad?
Yeah, you're not going to get the same level of attendance that you normally see on a Friday night. Last week we had the Mallard Creek and Rolesville game for our game of the week, and that was on Thursday, and it was not the amount of people that you expect from a top 20 matchup in the state.
Maybe they were all staying home to listen to the game of the week, or
we
watch
did have
the
a
game
lot
of the week.
We did have a lot of viewers on that, so that's definitely possible. But you would still like to see bigger crowds. But obviously, from the coaching perspective, you want the game to get in no matter what.
Right.
It's kind of a push-pull where, the school probably wants as many people there as possible. Coach kind of wants the game to get done with, so they don't have to reschedule it. But yeah, so you're typically going to look at lower crowds on the Thursdays and Mondays, and even Saturdays are kind of weird. You would think that they'd have decent crowds, but people's doing other stuff or have plans already. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, but at least they're off as opposed to Thursday night where it's a school night.
Right.
And you got to get up I have no idea.
There was one game last week when it moved up to Thursday. They started at 8:30, and it was a team that was traveling an hour away, and they had to go to school the next day, Friday morning. So it's stuff like that. You don't really want to deal with that.
Drive right to school.
Yeah.
Leave the game. Drive right to school. Any issues that have come up over the week, or anything that we can focus on that you guys have written about at High School OT?
Nothing really. We're trying to get a hold on our features. We just put up a feature today about Brian Peterson, the former NC State star, Phillip Rivers' buddy. He's coaching at Broughton now. So we're getting stories like that out, and he's got a plan for Broughton. Broughton because you're kind of from the area, so it's going to be kind of a long process for him to get that up and running.
Right.
But yeah, we're still looking for feature stories right now, and so far there's been nothing too controversial other than that independent situation in South Carolina. But us, if there's controversy, we'll bring it to you.
No question about it. And real quick, the AJ Randall's mom was awesome, and that for people who do not know, if you have a son or a daughter who is a recruitable athlete, doesn't have to be football, but wherever NIL can be a part of their immediate future in college, go listen to that.
Yeah.
Because it's up on our, it was in our best of. We put it on our best of on Monday.
It's on YouTube.
And it's on YouTube right now. And fortunately for AJ, his mom was a college athlete.
Right.
So she had been through the game, not an NIL part of that game, but she had been through the recruiting process.
Yep.
And she handled that, it seems, or is handling it incredibly well.
Some of that stuff is very alarming to hear what those agents are charging. Just really unsuspecting people because they've never done anything like that before, and these agents are charging more like an entertainment fee or almost like an actor's rate, like Hollywood style instead of like
credit card interest rates.
Yeah, instead of just like the typical sports athlete rate. It's kind of interesting how they're getting away with it.
Yeah, well, there's very little regulation with it. That's anytime we have no regulation. That's Joel Bryant, managing editor, highschoolot.com, at Joel Bryant, HSOT on Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, Joe Person on the Panthers next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
College football kicks off August 29th.
Bailey eludes it, runs to the right, has Green, no one there at the 10, and he scampers in. Bailey, touchdown, Packs on top.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
It's over. The Blue Devils have won the ACC 27-20 in overtime.
Presented by Chapel Hill Tire, Roofworks, and Wake Med.
Gotta love it.
Hi, it's Adam Gold from a friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. Do you want a no closing cost mortgage? Do you want a free mortgage? MillerLending.com, that's the place to start. Great website, helpful videos, one-stop shop. You'll never have to actually see a human being if you don't want to. MillerLending.com. Don't pay closing costs because you don't have to. Gordon figured that out in 1987. My gosh, we are coming up on the 40th anniversary of that bit of genius. I know the guy who invented the crazy straw. I know the guy who invented the no closing cost mortgage. Save yourself thousands when you refinance or when you buy a home, and then hundreds when you refinance and lower your monthly payment. MillerLending.com. Miller Lending has been on Kildare Farm Road since 1996. They are awaiting your presence. Miller Lending, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
Your heart. It's the only one you have. Fortunately, you also have a choice. Expert cardiologists, talented surgeons, highly skilled specialists, all of whom chose WakeMed. Why? The main reason is the same reason patients choose WakeMed. Everything you need for the best possible care is right here. Learn more at wakemed.org. WakeMed Heart and Vascular Physicians. Your heart, your choice.
Nobody beats a fairway green lawn. Kevin, what can fairway green do this time of the year for our yards?
Yes, many people do not realize that fall is the time to seed your fescue, not in the spring. Fall is the time to go ahead and get out there and do a core aeration seeding. Go ahead and put down a good quality fertilizer at the same time.
How can we get started right away?
Yes, visit fairwaygreen.com. We'll be out there within 3 to 4 business days. We'll leave a very detailed lawn analysis that I'm sure you'll be quite impressed with.
Great. You can also call Fairway Green 919-329-0095.
Some of life's most meaningful moments are in summertime. Anniversary dinner, weekend getaway, sunset toast to another beautiful year together. Celebrate your story with a gift as timeless as your love from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From classic diamond bracelets to elegant watches and stunning anniversary bands, Bailey's helps you mark every milestone beautifully. This summer, celebrate the moments that matter most. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh, Cary, Greenville, Rocky Mount, and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons from Chapel Hill Tire. Your life is busy. Between work, family, and everything else on your calendar, finding time for car care isn't always easy. That's why I'm excited to share that our University Place and Crabtree locations are open Saturdays from 8 to 5. Whether you need tires, maintenance, or repairs, you'll now have more flexibility to take care of your car when it works best for you. It's just one more way we're working to make automotive service a little easier. Schedule your Saturday appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Adam Gold.
I wanted to tell Victoria that my daughter said she is not eating any more magical Cheez-Its until the season starts.
Yes, I love this. We got a revolution going.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. High school football with Joel Bryant. We're going to get pro football, Panthers football with Joe Person. And then next hour, Eric MacLain of the ACC Network, as it is week 01 in college football. Starting on Saturday, Tar Heels are in Dublin, and NC State plays Virginia up in Charlottesville. We'll hit that with Eric MacLain coming up in a little bit. Right now, Panthers have questions, or we have to ask them questions. They need to have answers. Joe Person covers the Panthers for The Athletic. He's an award winner, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. So we've had essentially 4 tests for the first-team offense. The game in Buffalo, the joint practice against the Jaguars, the game against the Jaguars, and the joint practice against the Texans. How would you assess the first-team offense in those 4 exams?
Well, bad in a word. In a word, I was, obviously yesterday is what's most at the forefront of my mind, just because I sat out there for close to 2 hours and watched it, and it was bad. It was just not good at all. And, I think we probably should have seen this coming. And had this been a regular season game and we'd had the regular run up to Sunday afternoon at 1, I think we would have talked about, boy, how is the rookie tackle going to fare? And also, by the way, how's the plug-in tackle on the left side of the line going to fare against 2 of the league's better pass rushers, and Danielle Hunter and, of course, Will Anderson.
Yeah.
And Houston was the number 1 defense last year. There would have been – and so I think we would have prepared your listeners and my readers a little better. But the fact that it's sort of like, boom, show up at 10 a.m. and start tweeting about how Will Anderson's sacking Bryce Young every single play, it sort of, I think, was a little jarring. to fans yesterday, and maybe a little jarring watching it. I will say this, and it's a very small caveat, but I did ask. Bryce was showing some frustrations, and luckily for him, this was a practice setup where they were blowing the play dead. But he even still, he was showing his frustrations. He threw one. I think like the pocket's breaking down. He basically just threw it up for grabs. It was underthrown. It was intercepted. But Canales pulled him aside, and I found this to be interesting. He said, "Look, I get it. You're frustrated. If this were a game, there are things we could do to adjust. We'd start, running some quicker plays. We'd get you on the edge. We wouldn't just drop back in a 7-step drop. This sort of thing." And we might also chip the chip the edge, which they did a little bit of that, Adam, yesterday, a little chipping. But for the most part, they just sort of stuck with what they were going to do. And the result was just they could do nothing against that pass rush of the Houston Texans.
Which is why Joe Person is joining us here from The Athletic, which is why when we talk about these and the coaches talk about the value of the joint practices, and I do think they learn a lot about their personnel, I stop way short of assigning any value to them as opposed to a game, even a preseason game, right? Because of what you just described right there. So we're not going to try and like jerry-rig an offense to deal with this. We're going to see these are the areas where we need to get better, and we're going to try to get better at them. In a game, you're trying to win a football game. So you are going to approach it differently. Bryce is going to approach it differently. So and it wasn't good against Buffalo. We know that. The first series against Jacksonville wasn't good. Second series was good. Part of me wishes that was the lasting impression. But how much of this is really based on the fact that the two starting guards, Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis, haven't been healthy enough? I mean, they've played, but not a ton. And Monroe Freeling is getting his feet wet, and sometimes against very difficult competition. And it is new for Walker as well.
Yeah, it's a great point. And I remember you and I discussing this back at the beginning of training camp. Like, you cannot overstate the importance and the impact, I should say, of losing your two starting offensive tackles from the last 4 seasons, not just from like last year. And after that practice yesterday, I had someone from another team text me and was like, I think it's going to be, it's going to be a rough slog for them at times this year because they're missing those two tackles. And I don't think it's going to be as bad as it looked yesterday every Sunday because, as I said, the Texans are one of the top 3 to 5 defenses, probably top 3 defenses in the league. And they're paying both their pass rushers a ton of money to do things like they did yesterday and last season when Hunter and Anderson combined for 27 sacks. So
that's a lot.
I don't. But that being said, Monroe Freeling was basically a starter for 1 full season at Georgia, and I think he's going to be a really good NFL tackle. Left side, right side, wherever you want to put him. But I think this year there are going to be growing pains, and you hope, if you're a Panthers fan, that Brad Isaac and Dave Canales can come up with some creative game plans to knowing that you're going to have some struggles, just like trying to play like they did yesterday, 7-step drop in the pocket and keep Bryce as a sitting duck, which they won't do.
Right.
But I do think there are going to be other Sundays, or there will be Sundays that look at least kind of like yesterday did, and it's just part of the deal when you're waiting on Ike Mekwonu and Taylor Moton to get healthy.
Let me ask you just quickly about them. I don't even know if we have a timetable, But I have read that Ekwonu is doing some work. The same thing about Moten. Is there a sense that it's they're a month away, 2 months away? What can you tell us about that?
Well, Moten's deal is tricky because he's on blood thinners for the clots, and as you know, you cannot. You can barely, like walk around the office because if you bump into something and you get a cut, it can be potentially a life-threatening situation. So I don't know. I mean, 2 months for him. I mean, maybe that's on the long side, but. And I would think Icky will be back sooner, but they've been really careful to not put a timeline on any of these injured guys. And I think they don't want. I think it's in part they don't want to say, well, wait. They don't want folks like us to say, well, wait a minute. You told us end of September, and here. But it is interesting because the Bears have the offensive lineman Trapio. He had the same injury as Icky back in the Bears playoff game. Patellar tendon rupture, had the surgery, and he was recently, a week, 10 days ago, activated off the PUP list. But everybody heals differently. I remember talking to Jimmy Graham back in February. He had this same injury, and he was saying, like, look, he said, he wanted to talk to Ekwonu and tell him everything he learned in the recovery. It's a arduous recovery, and I do think Icky will play this year. I think it'll, I don't know. It feels like October. It feels like it'll be October at this point, just because you're going to have to, ramp him up. And, I mean, he's still just kind of walking around the practice field getting – cardio type stuff and doing more than that. But basically just, he's keeping up with cardio and hasn't done anything resembling football drills.
You get the sense that he'll play the right side. I mean, has Rasheed Walker been okay on the left? How has his transition been from Green Bay to Carolina?
He's honestly, last week, I think this was, I forget if it was for us or somebody had asked me who was my biggest surprise of camp. And I said, I don't know if he's a surprise, but I mentioned Rasheed Walker as having had a really good camp.
Good.
And yesterday, like his fingerprints were on some of those pressures too. It was mostly Monroe Freeling and whoever was lined up opposite of him. But Rasheed Walker on the left side also gave up a couple of pressures, I think one of which resulted in one of Bryce's two interceptions. So, but he's been pretty solid. But they've had tests too, right? Like Jalen Phillips has given them a good test in these camp practices. And Nick Scorton obviously not around, but between Princely, Uman-Mielen, and Jalen Phillips, I do think these tackles are getting pretty good looks just in the course of a regular practice, and certainly, and you're right. I mean, they'll learn from yesterday. You would like to think the play caller, the quarterback, and the tackles, all of them will be better the next time they face a really premier defense and have an actual game plan and a plan of attack.
All right, let's have a little fun with wide receivers here, because I've been reading your stuff, and Joe Person from The Athletic is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. Barring health, and Xavier Leggette's the only one with a real question, Leggette with McMillan and Coker are the top three wide receivers, and Bryson Tremaine, you say, is going to make it simply because he is a great special teamer and a great blocker at that position.
Yes.
We'll call him wide receiver 6. So they're looking for wide receiver 4 and 5. And I know Dave Canales kind of tinkered with, maybe 7. Most teams don't keep 7. I don't anticipate they will either. Who do you give the inside track to for wide receiver 4 and 5?
So I think there's 4 guys who've been competing for it, and I think Jimmy Horn has played his way already onto the roster.
Okay.
He's a guy they drafted last year, had pretty good numbers with Shedeur Sanders and Coach Prime at Colorado.
Right.
Didn't do a lot as a rookie, but he's a bigger, looks a little stronger, and he's just a dynamic, fast guy. Like that type of speed that you can't coach. I think he makes it. He had several nice plays last week in the Jacksonville game, to include a punt return, a kick return, and an end around that went for 40 yards and a couple of receptions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's in. So then for the last spot, I think it's John Mechie, who, of course, had a big final college season when Bryce Young was his quarter. Hadn't done much in the pros. He's had health stuff, but he's had a good camp. David Moore is a guy that's been with Dave Canales at every stop, Seattle, Tampa, and here. I think this is where David Moore's run ends. I think they'd like to keep him around on the practice squad.
Sure.
He's a great locker room guy. So I think it's between Mechie and Jasim Reed. Jasim Reed, most of your listeners probably have never heard of him. He played at the University of San Diego, not San Diego State. He was on an academic scholarship.
Really?
Because that conference, I think it's called the Frontier League. Davidson here is in it. It runs from Davidson, North Carolina, all the way to San Diego, and it's the only. It's basically Division III football, playing like Division I AA.
Right.
But anyway, he's really good. He's interesting, and then it's sort of like, well, do you want more of a veteran who knows Bryce and Mechie, or a Jasim Reed who was undrafted last year and looks younger and has probably a higher ceiling? He's made a lot of catches. But he has been, he's kind of had a calf injury the last week that has slowed him down. But I think those are the two guys going for that last spot.
All right, it would be interesting to see. Reed's also bigger, I believe, than Mechie. At least he looks bigger.
No, he is.
All right, now Darren Waller was brought in. We haven't seen him in a joint practice yet. He's not going to play in the game. But if they brought him in, knowing that those things were likely not going to happen, my guess is he's going to be on the roster. But is he likely to start on a PUP list, or what is the possibility that he doesn't start on the 53? And does that give JT Sanders a reprieve, or is Waller on the 53 and JT Sanders will likely be let go?
Yeah, we finally saw they did get Waller out there very late in that practice yesterday in team for the first time. Caught a shortish pass from Bryce, so that was good to see. But yeah, the tight end room is very interesting because much like, as you correctly summed up, the Bryce and Tremaine situation with special teams, they have a guy like that in the tight end room, Felipe Franks, former University of Florida quarterback, who's a tight end now and is a extremely violent and gifted special teams player, and he will make this team. And so I getting the feeling the more and more they slow play the Darren Waller situation, that they're going to somehow listen. With a vested veteran, he does not have to pass through waivers as someone like JT Sanders would, because he has fewer than 4 years of service time. I think maybe, assuming that Darren Waller is okay with it, like, hey, if we do this for a week or two, would you be okay hanging out on the practice squad? And the other thing too, veterans who are not on your team until after September 1st or after week 1, I think it is. Sorry, then you don't have to guarantee their salaries. Right. He's not even making that much, but listen, money's money.
Money's money.
And
right.
So I think I'm starting to think they're going to try to play around with something like that, and then see if someone makes him an offer for JT Sanders. There was a report out yesterday from a Packer-type blogger, not necessarily, someone necessarily, not like our Packers reporter from The Athletic, not to disparage them, but he had said that Panthers were shopping JT Sanders. I asked Canales about that yesterday, and Canales says, I have no information about that. It would be smart, right? They should be shopping. If you've got a surplus, they might be. They're a little heavy at safety. They're probably seeing if anyone's interested in like an Isaiah Simmons, who is potentially not going to make this team. And then on the flip side, they should be looking for depth for teams that might have an extra inside linebacker or an extra interior defensive lineman, because I think those are two areas where they could stand to add to.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that the roster is not at the level where, they're competing at the top of the conference anyway. So, looking for help at guard, looking for help and in the interior of the defensive line, inside linebacker next to Devin Lloyd, free safety, all of these places. They could clearly use a lot of help. One thing that they do have on lock is they have a person like you, Joe Person, from The Athletic. The best there is covering the team. I appreciate your time, sir. Enjoy
I hope I'm not being shopped before the 53-man cutdown. I hope I'm. I don't know who would want an old an aging sports writer at this point of the game.
If you could bring 2 first-round picks in return, I mean that would be worth it.
I think maybe a 7th rounder and a bag of balls or cheese.
I'm trying to think what I would be okay with being traded for. It's certainly a mental exercise. Joe Person from The Athletic at Joseph Person on Twitter. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. See you.
You got it, Joe Person. That is an interesting thing. Like, we don't trade us.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Professional athletes, men, are great, right? They have it great. They make a ton of money. Some, not all. Certainly not in the NFL if you looked at who makes what, whatever. But, we envy them. I played baseball growing up, man. I would have loved to have been, I'm just going to come up with like a random, I would have loved to have been Mark DeRosa, right? Now with MLB Network, he was was the manager for Team USA of the World Baseball Classic.
I would want to be Bobby Bonilla.
Sure. There's another guy. But like Bonilla was a star-level player, though.
Right.
But I'm just talking about like a roster guy, utility guy, played a long time. I would have loved to have been that guy, right? But the downside of being a pro athlete is that, with some exceptions now, because there are things called no trade clauses, your boss could call you into his office and say, hey, I know we live here in New York, but you now work in Phoenix.
Buy some shorts.
So it's hot. It's a dry heat, but it's hot. So we don't have that. I mean, there are companies that will say, hey, there's an opportunity in our company in another city. Are you interested? And sometimes they don't give you the option. But for the most part, we don't trade you to another radio station for a first and a conditional 4th.
Right. And pizza on Tuesdays.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
We should do that.
I know. Pizza on Tuesdays? Yes.
What would we give, because we have him on often, what would we give WFNZ for T-Bone, for Travis Hancock?
Oh, well, right now he probably needs like Band-Aids and stuff because of the new puppy he has. Yeah.
I mean, just...
Woo! It's a little terror. Yeah.
Just come on, get over it.
Yeah.
Travis.
I think he's just being a baby about it.
Total baby.
Yeah.
Total
Look at
baby.
that face.
Yeah, he picked his... Coming out of the World Cup, a lot of people have done this. Coming out of the World Cup, decided he was going to pick a Premier League team.
Okay.
Pick Chelsea, which choosing badly, although they're very good.
Right.
Why? Because the color.
What? Oh, is that why?
What? The colors?
Okay.
I mean, there's other teams with that color. Could have chosen Ipswich. Could have chosen Everton. Same color.
Right.
Nope.
I mean, sometimes that's how I pick the M&Ms I'm going to eat because I like certain colors, but not a team.
It's like we make fun of the people who pick their NCAA tournament based on the uniforms.
Yeah.
Making fun of you, Travis. All right, we're gonna stretch. We'll place bets next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Did you know that the rechargeable batteries inside of items we use every day like mobile phones and power tools should not be disposed of through your trash or recycling? These batteries can spark dangerous fires in garbage trucks and at recycling facilities. There is good news. In North Carolina, it's easy to dispose of your devices safely. Learn more about lithium-ion battery disposal and find your closest device drop-off location at batterysafe.nc.gov. That's batterysafe.nc.gov. Remember, skip the bin, turn your batteries in.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person. Complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
At the North Carolina Agro-Medicine Institute, we know a safe farm is a profitable one, and we're teaming up with your local NC Cooperative Extension agent to offer the Certified Safe Farm program. It's a non-regulatory safety review with an on-farm walkthrough, health checks, and more. For a limited time, the NC Tobacco Trust Fund Commission is sponsoring up to $1,000 in cost share for participating farms to make safety improvements. Real help to protect you, your workers, and your farm. See more at ncagromedicine.org.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we're looking at issues that affect families in every corner of North Carolina. Maternal health. My guest is Marissa Franks from the North Carolina Healthcare Foundation, who shares information about the Maternal Health Action Network.
No single hospital or organization can solve maternal mortality alone. It takes all of us in healthcare and in our communities to do that. But by sharing knowledge, listening to patients, partnering with communities, addressing barriers to care, and implementing proven practices, we can make a real difference. So I think our work demonstrates what's possible when healthcare organizations come together around a common goal, which is helping every mother and baby have the healthiest possible start.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Gold. Gold.
I told Jack in the car, you know what the word of the year is? He goes, what? I said it's 6-7. He just laughed.
I know.
It just means nothing. And that's fantastic that it's now the word of the year. What a country.
Can we bring back cool story, bro? That way, us millennials can be like, yeah, cool story, bro. I would love that.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. Excited for what's still to come in the program. Eric MacLain, ACC Network, Clemson legend on the start of the ACC season. I've been informed that State and Carolina do not play in the back half of week 01. They play this weekend. Each have next weekend off. So I should have included Duke and Davidson in the list of area schools. Could have included Wake Forest as well. Duke and Wake have better chances to win. Their schedules are a little bit easier, but I'll still stick with State just because.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to stretch. We're going to place bets, but first we stretch.
So I know we talked about sweet old Dolly yesterday and a lot about her, but I thought this was interesting. I found this out later. So Dolly literally worked up until the day she died.
Yeah.
And she has a ton of projects that are coming out.
Oh, really?
Yes,
oh,
that
boy.
have yet to come out. And the first thing, the one thing that I thought was the most fascinating is she has a secret song. And it's not going to be released until what her 100th birthday would have been. So in 2046, she has this song called My Place in History that's going to be released.
Oh, wow.
That she's already written, and it's in her Dreambox time capsule. I love this. This is so crazy.
This is planning ahead.
This is super planning ahead. So it's locked in a wooden Dreambox time capsule at Dollywood's Dreammore Resort. So we have to wait 20 more years, but in 2046, we'll be able to hear the song that she wrote. Her last, and she.
We gotta wait 20 years for this.
I know.
All right, good. I'm not going to be able to hear in 20 years.
Yeah, but yeah, it's 20 years is a long time. It's a long time. So yeah,
I hope so.
Hopefully, we're all still around to hear the secret song of Dolly's. So wow, she specifically wanted that to be her last song, and it will be. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which also BuzzFeed I thought was funny because just BuzzFeed, they do funny things anyway. But they made a list of celebrities that we need to basically bubble wrap now.
Yeah.
Because they're getting up there, and I agree with them because Dick Van Dyke is one of them in their list.
That's right. He is in his mid-90s.
No, he's 100. He is 100, and he is set to turn 101 in December.
Wow.
So he's mid-hundreds. I mean, yeah, he is on the Smucker's jar. So if you know what I'm referencing.
Yes, I do.
He's on the Smucker's jar. We have to protect.
He's 100.
Yep. Triple digits.
Big fan of Dick Van Dyke.
Me too. Oh, man. I think is another one of those legends that's going to hit hard when he unfortunately passes. But yeah, he's on there. Morgan Freeman is 89. Didn't realize that. That's crazy. Here's another
legend,
one.
Yeah.
Carol Burnett. She's 93.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
Is Harvey Korman still alive? Tim Conway?
I don't know. It's a good question. They're not on the list of let's protect these celebrities if they are. They don't think they're in the top 22. So yeah.
You have to be over 90 to be on this list? Or
no, they've got
Freeman was 89. So.
The youngest one I think is 87 on this list. No, 86. Lily Tomlin.
Okay.
So yeah. Are
we just doing the cast of 9 to 5 now?
Maybe.
Was Tomlin was in that?
Maybe, yeah.
And Jane Fonda was also in that?
Yep, she's on here too because she's going to be 89 in December. Also a December baby, so yeah. I know. Mel Brooks is 100. That's on the list.
Yes.
So yeah, these are all celebrities that we have to, bubble wrap, I guess. But Dolly, so not only does she have this mysterious last written song ever that's coming out on her 100th birthday, but she's got other things like Dolly Dolls. I'm shocked that we don't have a Dolly doll already.
Why not?
That's coming out September 15th, so you only have to wait about 2.5 weeks for that one if you want to. Dolly on the Holly is coming out this holiday season. These are fantastic. It's her version of Elf on a Shelf. So, these are so great. She is such a gem.
It's not for kids, though.
I hate the
when adults wish for things for
we don't have that.
For Christmas.
I know. Also, she teamed up with Kendra Scott to make jewelry.
Nice.
9 to 5 jewelry that's coming out in January. So, and Dolly didn't forget about the dogs. She made dog treats. They're coming out early next year. So that's literally naming like 4 or 5 of 10. So that's
amazing.
I know.
She was an industry.
Oh man, a whole industry by herself.
Yep.
So
good for
fantastic.
her.
So
I know. I'm finding out more and more about her.
Oh, I know.
Right. I am.
Things I had no idea because of she's just what a legend.
Unbelievable.
You know what else we try to be legends at? We try to make bets.
I'm prepared.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, let's do it.
Let me tell you what the balk happened yesterday with. Did you see the Cubs game?
No, I know PCA was mad at the umpires.
Oh, big mad. Big balk mad. Because it was a total balk. 4 umps completely with their real human eyeballs couldn't see it. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. It's madness, and I understand why he's upset. So,
what kind of balk was it? I didn't see the highlight.
You be mad, MVP.
Did the pitchers
he was all over the mound. All over it. He was dancing everywhere but on the plate. Like,
okay.
what are we doing? Yeah, so you should... I would highly recommend.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So let's see. The Dodgers also, I believe they lost a game they should have won yesterday. Didn't watch it.
That's a shame.
I know, but they're taking on the Braves today, and they're underdogs. So I'm sure they'll probably try to make up for it. So let me take the Dodgers at home or in Atlanta against the Braves plus 110.
All right, let's do it. I am super prepared for this. Of course, I don't remember where I wrote all of my wagers. Oh, here they are. We're going to start. We're going to give you 2 in Major League Baseball because I have 2 others as well. Astros are in the Bronx. Take on the Yankees. Give me Houston and over 8 runs plus 277.
Okay. Well, since the Cubs lost to the Diamondbacks because of that dumb balk, let's take the Giants to win. Against Arizona at home in San Francisco, and I will take over 8. That is plus 245.
Dodgers are in Atlanta. Battle of division winners or division leaders. They will be division winners. Although Atlanta's lead over Philadelphia is just 5-5. That's they're going to win the division. Give me the Dodgers on the road and Atlanta at home and under 6.5 runs, and that is plus 201.
Okay, and Royals against Blue Jays. Give me Toronto to win at home, and I will take the under 8.5. That's plus 220.
All right, La Liga's playing a game today.
No Mets and Brewers bet today.
No. La Liga is playing a league game today.
Oh.
Barcelona is home to Atleti. By the way, Champions League draw came out. Liverpool's draw is Charmany soft, but they still won't do well against it because, we only have left wingers and attacking midfielders on the roster. But give me Barca to win, but both teams to score over 3.5 goals. I think Barca's going to cruise in this like 3-1. And let's see. We'll just go with that. And that's like plus 250. All right, that's enough, isn't it? Give you 3 legs.
Sure.
Barca to win, both teams to score over 3.5 goals.
Probably a boost
we don't
somewhere.
Have to go. Yeah, we don't have to go nuts with that. That's enough. All right. Next hour, Eric MacLain, ACC Network on Week 01.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Football is back. NFL preseason is back, and the excitement is there. The Panthers looked great in the Hall of Fame preseason game. Haynes King was electric. They got the win. Everybody celebrated. But let's pump the brakes a little bit. Kenny Pickett is still the backup quarterback. It's still Bryce Young's team. Haynes King can be a nice piece.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, you know? Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may be able to even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. Call 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Everyone is talking about the shots, but fewer people are talking about the cost, side effects, plateaus, or what comes next. I'm Dr. Craig McGiffin with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. If you started injections and now want a sustainable next step, our program is built for exactly that. We combine real food guidance, one-on-one coaching, and targeted nutraceuticals to help support a healthy metabolism, preserve lean muscle, and keep progress moving. We use a proprietary system that has helped over 100,000 people nationwide lose the weight, and many clients have seen major results without staying dependent on injections long term.
Hey, this is Dennis from 99.9 The Fan. Summer is ending, and now is the time to prioritize yourself. Get your confidence back and set your long-term health goals. Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Schedule your free 15-minute phone consultation with Raleigh Weight Loss Center and see if their program is right for you. Schedule today by calling 919-897-7506. That's 919-897-7506 or online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
The NCAA could have been the bus driver on this. They could have taken control and been the adult in the room a long time ago. And they kept kicking the can down the road, and they just have never been big picture thinkers or been the leaders that they need to be, which is why we have issue after issue after issue, with 5 for 5 and the timing of this being the latest.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. That was Michelle Smallman of Unsportsmanlike. on ESPN Radio. We might hear from Michelle Smallman in the Wall of Sound. You'll hear from Dan Orlovsky on Bill Belichick. You hear a little bit more from ESPN personalities, or USC's coach Lincoln Riley on he spent time at ECU on the 5-in-5 rule that is messing with everything. We'll have some NFL stuff as well. But let me just address the Pete Crow-Armstrong anger towards the balk. I've seen the play. For people who are unaware, if you step off the mound, off the rubber, then there is no delivery to home plate. You can throw to any other base that's occupied. But if you step off, you can't throw to play's dead, right? If you throw to home plate, it should be a balk. Umpires determined that throwing to home plate after stepping off the rubber was not a balk. Here's the thing. The stepping off the rubber was so subtle. Clearly, PCA saw it.
Right.
Craig Counsell, Cubs manager, saw it.
Yes.
And with the benefit of replay, we could all see it. But it was so subtle, I kind of get why the umpires didn't see it. Right? There wasn't a deception of the runner.
Yeah.
PCA was on third, actually bluffed a steal of home, which probably caused, I forget the pitcher was, Rodriguez, I think was the pitcher, for the Diamondbacks, probably caused him to just kind of stutter step a little bit. But all he really does is lift his foot up. He was working from the set position, which means that technically he's not on the rubber. His foot is adjacent. He was rubber adjacent. Whatever that means. But when he picked his foot up, technically he was off the rubber, and I could just see why the umpires didn't see it. If they were allowed to go to replay to look at it.
Yeah, it's crazy that the coaches can't challenge it.
Well, replay sucks. Can we just admit that? Instant replay in all of sports sucks. We have it, but we don't have it. We can't look at everything. Not all calls are reviewable. Sorry, you can't change it. We're out of challenges. Can't do it. We should either have it.
Yeah.
Or we shouldn't have it. If we have it, then we should be able to look at anything. But that's not the case. And we make it part of the game. Well, I don't want to waste my challenge here. Like, nah, man, what's the goal? Is the goal to get all the calls right? Because if that's the goal, we should have it. Watched the baseball game, I don't know how many months ago this was. First batter of the game, challenged 2 pitches, got them both wrong. Your team's out of challenges.
Oh, wow.
Out of challenges.
Not good.
Rest of the game.
Yeah.
Still had to get 27 outs.
Right.
Actually, 26, because he challenged a call strike 3, and he was wrong. It was a call strike 3. So you only have 26 outs to play with. But they were out of challenges. Now, I get it's your own fault, but I saw a stat from an umpire where he got 18 calls wrong. Worst performance of the year by an umpire.
Not good.
18 calls wrong. Okay. So you're like both, not that both teams can't challenge, but you can't challenge anymore. It shouldn't be part of strategy.
Right.
If we're trying to get the calls right and we have replay, we should just get the calls right. We should just get them right in as little time as humanly possible. So I go back and forth with saying, all right, we'll give it a minute. Honestly, it should be 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Watching it at full speed, if we can't tell the difference, what was the call? Boom, we're done.
Not like the hockey game. I can't even remember which game it was, where it took like 25 minutes it felt to review something. We're like, can we just move on, please?
We're talking about like whether it was the Jankowski goal was Jordan Stahl.
I think that was
Did he carry the puck? Did he have possession of the puck?
Remember aging throughout that process.
And no, but it speaks to this. It speaks to why you should always look at these things like at full speed.
Yeah.
Stahl skates over the line with the puck. He has control of the puck. When you slow it down to the point where we are like reenacting the Zapruder film, as Stahl is crossing the grassy knoll,
right,
he does, for like a split second, appear to lose control of the puck, even though he doesn't. And there was no second spitter. But so the Jankowski goal was waved off. Now, that was game 2 of the playoffs against Ottawa.
Yeah.
Martinook eventually scored. So there you go. But, yeah, that's my point. We should, real speed, no distortion, 30 seconds. If we can't tell, then we can't tell. Replay was put in games, the use of replay to officiate games was put to reverse obvious mistakes. At some point, we forgot what obvious was.
Yeah.
And now we slow everything down to like
Matrix speed. 1
frame per second. And I'm like, okay, it's just we have lost the plot. Anyway, that's my my replay dissertation.
Yeah.
It was a balk, but I get why they missed it.
Yeah. Umps be umping.
Exactly. All right. Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
So let's deal with the 5-5 stuff first, right? See how much time we have for other stuff. Lincoln Riley, USC's head football coach, on how he feels about 5 years to play 5. And, of course, we have some NFL players, not really NFL players, but players practicing with NFL teams who want to return to college.
Yeah, the 5-for-5 is great. It eliminates a lot of the tough decisions that you had before about do you play a guy or try to save his red shirts. That part's great. The professional roster thing is insane. I mean, once you become a professional, like you're not an amateur anymore. Like it's real simple. So I'm proud of our league, the Big Ten, for stepping up and really setting the tone in terms of just saying that's not going to happen here. And it was definitely the right move for college football.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are professionals. They're getting paid to play. I mean, I realize it's not pro sports, but it's not amateur sports either. So, okay, it's semantics. Michelle Smallman, unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, who is giving Lane Kiffin a break.
Lane Kiffin is always going to be the one to push the limits. And not only is he inherently like that, but think about the pressure that he has at LSU now. He left Ole Miss in a very sticky way to go to LSU because he essentially said, amongst other things, that this gives me the best opportunity to win. Well, you haven't won anywhere else, Lane, and now you better get it done. So, of course, he's going to push it to the limits in every way that he can because he understands what he has to do. But for the SEC to say, no, there's no gray area here. We are going to make sure that you know what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. While I feel bad for these athletes that are caught in this tornado of dysfunction, I do appreciate the SEC for being crystal clear about where they stand.
By the way, LSU did not vote. Remember yesterday I said that it was a unanimous vote and that LSU voted against their own coach? They did not. They abstained. They did not vote. So it was a unanimous 15-0 vote. I don't think we've heard the last of this lawsuit. I think this will extend all the way into next week. I will not be shocked at all if all of those players are cleared to play. I won't. If the NCAA could fight this all they want, there are some legal avenues to pursue for these players if they want to come back. And if they are eligible to play, I think coaches will find a way to get them on the roster. All right, let's take a break. Eric MacLain on the other side. Former Clemson offensive lineman, an ACC champion, and we will talk to him about the ACC start of the season next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks from training camp as the regular season approaches. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
It's almost time for the weekend, so maybe that means you're ready for some rest and relaxation, or maybe that means it's time to take the bike out for an adventure. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and as we approach the weekend, it's normal to have that one thing that you are really looking forward to help get you through the week. And taking the motorcycle out when it's a beautiful day and the weather is great is a perfect way to unwind. But there may come a time when you're in an accident on your motorcycle, even when it's not your fault. And if that ever happens, make sure to call my friends at Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they get it. They understand what it's like to go through an accident. They're riders too, so they know the value of your bike, your gear, and the investment that you've made. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible. So case evaluations at Law Tigers are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Labor Day savings are happening now at the Home Depot with select appliances starting at $399. Plus, save up to an extra $1,000 and get free delivery on appliance purchases of $998 or more. Upgrade your kitchen with a Samsung refrigerator featuring zero clearance. Designed for all spaces with special hinges and slim doors for a seamless look. Right now, at great prices at the Home Depot, you can save on top brand appliances built to elevate your kitchen. Shop Labor Day savings at the Home Depot today. Offer valid August 27th through September 16th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
It's time to celebrate Global Golf Raleigh's anniversary sale August 24th to the 29th. Save $50 off purchases of $300 and $125 on $600. Plus pre-owned Vokey wedges starting at $89.99 and take 20% off golf bags. Also get a huge 50% trade-in bonus towards your next upgrade. Visit the Global Golf Outlet at 7320 ACC Boulevard in North Raleigh. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf. Some exclusions apply. In-store offers only.
When it comes to your roof, it's all about quality above with peace of mind below. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We're proud to be in our 20th year helping families and businesses keep the roof over their heads as economically as possible. We work on every type of roof, gutters, and skylights with quality repairs, maintenance, and replacements for your home, your business, and multifamily. We offer warranties with every new roof and financing options for homeowners, and we're now serving Southern Pines as well. Visit us to learn more at roofwerks.com.
It's almost football season in the Bull City, and Duke football is back. Don't miss Duke's 2026 home opener as the defending ACC champions take on the Tulane Green Wave at Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium. Kickoff is Saturday, September 5th at 3:30. Tickets start at just $37 and include free parking. Coach Manny Diaz leads the charge. Get your seats now at goduke.com/footballticks or call 919-681-BLUE. Let's go, Duke!
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
This is Adam Gold.
540.
Yeah.
Right, the big outer belt loop. Why don't we just call them inner loop and outer loop? Don't give me north, south, east. It changes. Mm-hmm. It's a circle.
Yeah, they should. They use it for belly buttons.
Right, inner and outer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Use it for belt lines.
All right, I'm done with the rant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Week 01 begins Saturday, high noon, Dublin, Ireland, North Carolina, TCU, State, and Virginia will go in Charlottesville at 3:30. We've got Florida State hosting New Mexico State, Stanford hosting Hawaii. Eric MacLain, ACC Network, ACC champion, in the truck headed somewhere. How are you?
Well, I can't think of a more appropriate song than Throw Some D's on it to bring me in. So I really appreciate the warm welcome. But life is good, man. We delayed our leaving just a little bit. And because we did that, we are in a hurricane and packing the truck. And then we get to, right past 5 Points because, I live in hell. I live in Columbia, South Carolina. And I was like, I forgot my laptop and my computer. Great. Let's turn around and get soaked even more. So now I get to talk to you, though. Life is good.
So I'm not even sure how to take that. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it better or worse or get in your way. So if you need
always better.
If you need to bail, let me know. Let's start in Charlottesville. I've already talked a little bit about Carolina and TCU. We are going to get to it, but I want to start in Charlottesville. I know you were here with a very confident Dave Doran. Your thoughts on what the Wolfpack can be this year?
Yeah, I think they're a really good team, man. And as you know very well, NC State kind of thrives when they have no expectations, when they're not discussed as a dark horse, when they're not discussed as a potential playoff team, when nobody's throwing out, this is the year to do this, that, and the other. And so they kind of lived in that world all the way up until – media day and shortly after media day. And then everybody kind of hears how coach is talking and hear how CJ's talking. They're like, hold on a minute. Have we not been paying attention to the Wolfpack? And so I think, kind of now there is a little bit of that. But I like this team, man, specifically because you have a third-year starting quarterback in CJ Bailey. Cam Newton has him in like his top five quarterbacks in the world. He's looked the part every year. What's the next step? Is it running the football more and being that guy that can be counted on for short yardage? We know how bad NC State has been at that the last couple of years. Is it being more ownership friendly where, hey, he gets to the line, he sees two safeties, he's check and run. He sees single high and maybe a guy lacks in coverage, he's going that way. So what is it going to be that helps to not only take him to the next level, but what takes the Wolfpack to the next level? Because I'm excited about the weapons, but there are certainly question marks. But CJ, I think, is going to make everybody better.
Let me ask you a kind of a big picture question about college football. Eric MacLain is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Because as good as he is, and he's been talented, we've seen the talent for 2 years. It hasn't necessarily been that consistent, but it is a rarity, and like he's almost a unicorn in the sport today because he is still in the same place in year 3. Players with that talent gravitate towards the real money elsewhere or the real opportunity. And I'm not saying you can't get money or even compete for a national championship at NC State. I'm not trying to play that game. But typically, CJ Bailey is at Georgia or at Texas or at Ohio State by now.
Yeah, no question. And I think that's what's fascinating to me, that it is that we're at that place, that loyalty is looked at in some eyes, like kind of like, man, this guy, what are you doing? That's not smart. And others it's such a rare thing. It stinks that that's where we are. But I do commend him, and I think that matters. I think that'll matter how the NFL evaluates him. Obviously, it's going to matter to his teammates and what they can, ultimately get out of each other to accomplish this year. But it's also going to matter 30 years from now when CJ Bailey comes back to a place that he called home, that called him one of their own as well. And that to me is really the most short-sighted thing of this whole situation, just to, kind of stray away from that particular situation. Like, there's guys that have been 4 or 5 different places. Where the heck are you going to go when you come back? Where's home? Where are you going to take your kids? And quite frankly, who wants you? Who wants you to come back? And so that to me is something that obviously CJ will have forever. And I'm really excited that he did that and he made that decision.
Yeah, former North Carolina quarterback Max Johnson, who was playing his 7th college football season.
Right. It's just
How many
crazy.
homecomings
So
can
crazy.
you go to?
That's right. Well, I guess it's a good way to get tickets. It's a good way to see different parts of the country if you can get the tickets, I guess.
It's a very good point. I didn't think about it that way. It can get expensive, though, because those are all the homecomings seem to be concentrated in the same, middle of the season. We get the alumni back.
That's right.
Ask them for donations, plus it's going to cost them when the giving time comes. Eric MacLain is joining us here from the ACC Network on the Adam Gold Show. The rest of NC State's team. The defense, non-traditionally, I couldn't come up with a word, has uncharacteristically wasn't good. Hasn't been as good as it was in the first, 10 years of the Dave Doran era. The weapons maybe not as automatic. We know how good Duke Scott is and some of those other players, but defensively they've got to be a whole lot better. What has Dave or anybody else told you about what he thinks they'll be on defense?
That's what we've kind of challenged him with, right? When we ask him these questions and we kind of see, okay, for years there, like a 6-year span, we knew we had maybe the best linebacker in the league wearing red and white. We knew that guy was going to be a monster. And there was 3 guys in particular, one on staff now with Isaiah, that you just knew were going to be monsters. And there was a couple years where they played together. And wish there were more, but injuries led to some of that not happening. So I don't think that guy right now is on the roster, but can they build someone to it? Can they make 2 or 3 guys equate to one of those? That's the biggest question to me, because that, exactly as you said, you expected a tenacious, hard-nosed defense. And even when I was playing, which is getting farther away, it was blue-collar, it was discipline, and it was physical guys. And, I think getting back to that is definitely priority one. And there was a lot of reasons, right, and some horrific of why the defense was what it was a year ago because of off-the-field things with Coach DJ and again, the terrible things that happened. But how can you all come together? How can that galvanize you together to make this defense to the standard that I know Coach Doran expects from his guys?
Eric MacLain is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Clemson legend and ACC champion. I think I went to your Wikipedia page. There's a picture of you in uniform. It's not that long ago.
It's getting up there, Adam. We're at the let's see, it's 26. We're at the 11-year mark. That's kind of gross. It's crazy.
It's not that gross, by the way. I know you've got a lot. You have a growing family and all of that. And you do a great job on the TV. All right, let me get to Carolina, heading over to Dublin. I know Dan Orlovsky was on TV talking about we got to stop dunking on Bill Belichick. I don't hear as much dunking on Bill Belichick now as we did last year, and I don't think there will be as much attention paid this year as there was last year. But it's still an NFL story too because of Bill. I think they'll be better. I think the quarterback will be better than the quarterback was last year. The offense, because of Bobby Petrino, will be better. But that schedule is 4 times harder, so we might not notice.
Right. And that's what, I think it's a fascinating thing. And actually, I might challenge the quarterback thing and actually look at it from a different lens. He might be better because statistically, last year it was not good. But I think it's going to be even more telling when Geno Ball's out at Wake Forest, because I think he's going to. I think that dude's going to throw for all kinds of yards, and I think it's going to be even more eye-opening of, wow, look what we absolutely wasted because we had a horrible roster and not good coaches around them. So I think that's going to be more telling. You are correct. I think Bobby Petrino, he's going to get something out of him. I mean, that guy knows ball. There might be other things you're concerned with, but calling plays and scoring touchdowns ain't it. He's going to do that. I mean, what he was able to do with Arkansas a year ago was fantastic. Now, does he have a weapon of that stature at the quarterback spot? No. But I think he can dial it up. I like June at the running back position. What can we get out of the receivers will be interesting to see. But I'm right there with you. I mean, I have such low expectations for North Carolina, and just there's so much off the field stuff happening there. It's just it's a real shame, and I can only imagine how that administration feels, how those boosters feel. something that made, and it was even turmoil when the hire happened. Like, who hired him? Whose idea was it? This and that. It's just a weird situation that I'm sure a lot of people are, unless they start winning, ready to kind of be out of.
Yeah, but I know you can start the clock on another administration, if you will, but it's still it's got to cost you almost $20 million to move on. That has to impact the next staff and the amount of money that you can devote to building a roster with that staff. Yeah. It is, and it's funny. I talked to Manny Diaz yesterday, and I asked him about just the state of the sport, because I was talking about the fact is that the games today, not maybe the mechanism or the structure of college football, but the games are probably better than they have ever been. But Manny talked about the cost, the amount of money that we are asking from fans, because we're not only asking them to buy tickets and join like Wolfpack clubs and Rams clubs and all of that, we're also asking them to fund NIL budgets. And that is a very big ask for a fan base, and maybe a Duke who has a far smaller fan base. It's even a more difficult ask. Let me ask you about this, because we talked to Roddy Jones earlier in the week. And I asked him for a dark horse in the league. Give me somebody that we're not talking about who is going to surprise. And he said Clemson. Your thoughts? He did.
Come on.
He did. Thoughts? They're unranked, Eric.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it if I didn't know if you were going to tell me the answer to the test or not. That's what I was going to say. Nobody's talking about the Tigers. And listen, it's maybe deservedly so. I mean, you have a horrible year with all that talent. I know people are quick to want to get rid of and stop talking about Dabo, one guy in Charlotte in particularly, but it's just one of those things to me that this team is still extremely talented. This team is loaded with guys all over the place. I mean, the arguably best wide receiver core in the country when you look at the entire room and what they're going to bring to the table, an offensive line that I think is going to be drastically improved if they can stay healthy. That might be one of the best they've had in many, many years here from a 1 through 5 collective unit. And then you flip over to the defensive side of the ball, and Roddy and I have had this conversation, so I wonder if he gave the same answer. They've got the best cornerback in the league, maybe one of the best corners in the nation. They have the best defensive end in the league, and they have the best linebacker in the nation. So is enormous. And just can it get to the field? Can it get to the level that Clemson is expected and used to playing at? Because it was absent for an entire season a year ago. And what were the reasons? Were there many? Were there a couple? I don't know, but it seems like this team is together more than they have been in years. It seems like this team has a chip on their shoulder that isn't created, isn't coming off of a 15-0 perfect season. We're trying to make something up. Like, this is legit. Everybody tells you suck. What are you going to go do, and what are you going to do about it?
It would be great. It would be funny, and I've talked to plenty of people about this, if they go down to Baton Rouge and beat a team of mercenaries in the opening
Adam,
weekend.
Let me tell you, if that happens, I will get an email from my company saying, tone it down. I will be insufferable if that happens.
You know what?
Just so you know, tune in.
The word insufferable came up in that conversation. My very good friend of mine, Chip Patterson, said he and Danny Canales would be completely insufferable if Clemson goes to Baton Rouge and beats LSU. All right. Final thing before I let you go. Miami, last year, I'm not saying they surprised people, but we had so many doubts. Could Mario Cristobal actually get a team to that point? Well, he did. Sure. They didn't win it, but he put them in position to win it, got them all the way to the title game. So, thoughts on the Hurricanes and the opportunity that is in front of them this year?
Oh, man, yeah, these guys are absolutely loaded. I mean, they're my favorite to win the national championship this year. They're my favorite to obviously win the ACC. That'd be nice, first time in ever for them to do that, get that done. But you look at the team, and I think back a lot of my Clemson senior year, and I think of the team that was 14-0, number one in the country, about to do this thing, and then we came up short and we lost. Right. And how hungry they were the next year, how disciplined they were the next year, and to accomplish that goal. You would have thought they hadn't been there in 30 years, not just came off of a loss there and were starving for this opportunity. So I think Coach Cristobal is really going to harness that. I mean, I have heard him ad nauseum just totally dismiss a year ago and say it has nothing to do with what we are doing this year. It has nothing to do with these guys. Look how many new faces there are, which there are new faces, but there's a lot of those good dudes still there. So, to me, they added pieces in the right places, specifically at quarterback, and Darian Mensah, who I think is one of, if not
never
the best
heard
in
of
the
him.
country.
I never heard of Darian Mensah.
You know that guy?
Never heard of him.
He's pretty popular in the 919, I think, or infamous, one of the ways. And then they just reloaded at the positions that they lost in the first round. You look at 5 stars that have just been waiting, and that doesn't happen really anymore. Guys transfer and want to play now, not in Miami. You're looking at a super talented defensive line, maybe 2 first-round defensive linemen pick, defensive tackle, and then maybe 2 edge guys that can work their way in it. So if you have 3 first-round talent on that line, man, they're going to wreak havoc. So I have extremely high expectations for the Canes, and I think they're going to be better than they were a year ago.
Eric MacLain, ACC Network. How many podcasts are we up to, or have we scaled back because you're on TV all the time? What are we doing?
We're still at 3, but I'm waiting for ours to launch, man. I need lucky number 4. That's the one that I can't wait for.
I'm here. I got another. You want
to
talk
Carolina thing?
You want to talk hockey? You want to talk hockey with me? We do that.
Yeah, of course. Champs. Right. Of course I want to talk
exactly.
Hockey.
All right,
winners
man.
all day.
Drive safe to wherever you're headed. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother. Be good.
You got it. Eric MacLain here on the Adam Gold Show, ACC Network. All right, when we come back, a rewind plus a conspiracy theory that I will debunk in real time.
Oh.
Yes, next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Turning 65 soon, navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
The phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait. Attention on the road, that's the only way. Phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Gear up this fall with the new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. And a fast charge time of just 10 minutes means it's ready when you are. The All-Pro battery is just the upgrade your shed has been waiting for. Outperform the outdoors with battery tools by Steel. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power. Comparison between AP300PC and AP300S. 10-minute charge time to reach 80% with AL1602MO.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we're looking at issues that affect families in every corner of North Carolina. Maternal health. My guest is Marissa Franks from the North Carolina Healthcare Foundation, who shares information about the Maternal Health Action Network.
No single hospital or organization can solve maternal mortality alone. It takes all of us in healthcare and in our communities to do that. But by sharing knowledge, listening to patients, partnering with communities, addressing barriers to care, and implementing proven practices, we can make a real difference. So I think our work demonstrates what's possible when healthcare organizations come together around a common goal, which is helping every mother and baby have the healthiest possible start.
You can learn more and join our latest conversations on the state of healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
At the North Carolina Agro-Medicine Institute, we know a safe farm is a profitable one, and we're teaming up with your local NC Cooperative Extension agent to offer the Certified Safe Farm program. It's a non-regulatory safety review with an on-farm walkthrough, health checks, and more. For a limited time, the NC Tobacco Trust Fund Commission is sponsoring up to $1,000 in cost share for participating farms to make safety improvements. Real help to protect you, your workers, and your farm. See more at ncagromedicine.org.
Your child's doctor shares your goals, a healthy future for your child. Doctors recommend vaccines throughout childhood because they protect what matters most: your child's future from preventable disease and serious illness. Discuss any questions you have and check that your child is up to date and talk about any concerns. You're right to have questions. Get real answers. Start a conversation with your doctor today. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
This is Adam Gold.
Well, if I'm watching the Panthers game and it's going real bad, many times it does.
I punish them by not watching
I'm
them.
a disappointed mother.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So, yeah, I realize it's not going to change the game, but it makes me feel better. And,
There were other factors at play there, but for the most part, I punish them. I will not watch you.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria is here. She's producing. Also, the show DJ. We're going to rewind in a second, but I want to debunk a theory.
I'm excited to hear about this.
Yes. Yesterday, Chip Patterson was on the show.
Yes.
Right. And Chip brought up the notion that this was all a setup by the NCAA. This 5 years to play 5, not allowing the 2022 class to be a part of it. Meaning that they had 4 years to play 4 as opposed to 5 years to play 5. They actually had 5 years to play 4, but not 5 years. They weren't going to get the 5th year to play 5, even though they put the rule in plenty of time for them to take advantage of it. And he said that his colleague from the Cover 3 podcast, Bud Elliott, actually said this on their podcast a while back and said that this whole thing could be a ruse to force Capitol Hill to bail them out. So, and look, it'd be better to talk about this with Bud because it's his theory, not Chip's. But here's what, because I kept thinking about it because I saw a clip from the Cover 3 podcast in which they kind of went back through this. Because there's nobody in their right mind would say that what is going on right now with eligibility issues in college football and college basketball, but we're right here at the start of the college football season. I mean, it's a mess. It's chaotic. I don't want to be intellectually dishonest about it. We are not talking about NFL players coming back to college. That's not happening because these are not yet NFL players. It's not somebody who played in the NFL and now coming back to college. It's somebody who has practiced in the NFL trying to come back to college. None of it's happened yet. But the notion that this was intentionally thought out with the hopes that it would play out this way, I am just not willing to give the NCAA credit for that. All right? Because the theory is that they knew that this would be a problem, but they wanted the problem because then they would be able to go to Capitol Hill and say, see, if you don't help us, this is what happens. So, here's my retort. Allow me to retort. rather than do what was right and smart by allowing the incoming class of 2022 to play, knowing, remember, in their mind, they did this intentionally, knowing that it would create chaos. What was right? 2022 class eligible for the 5th year. Smart, avoiding chaos. They decided to risk creating mass chaos, all while thinking that Congress would come to their rescue. Boy, that is giving that body a whole lot of credit they don't deserve. By that body, I mean Congress. Has anybody paid attention? Come on. Even if Capitol Hill was on the same page, and they're not, we have amendments and amendments and amendments, and this is like, it's way too big and unwieldy. It will not pass. I still don't think it will actually be voted on. We guarantee a vote in September. Sure you do. That's a good one. You know, there's an election in November.
There is.
I don't think we're doing anything with college football in September. Now, will they vote on it eventually? Maybe, but I think it'll be after the election. So, to assume, and I am not criticizing Bud here, okay? I get where he's coming from. But let's assume that Bud is right, that this was all a work by the NCAA. To assume that Congress would be there to rescue you from the burning building is absolute idiocy. Will not happen. And this all could have been avoided. Every ounce of it could have been avoided by simply saying the 2022 incoming freshman class is eligible for the 5th year. That's all it took. It's not that many athletes. Just not. You could have expanded the rosters for a year, 1 year. You could have said, this year's class is the last year. This is it. This is the cutoff. Boom. And then we have all the time in the world to settle and look at the future. But nope. They decided that chaos was the better idea. Nice. This is what happens when there is no leadership. It ain't that hard. It just isn't. Shall we rewind? Panthers. We start there. Panthers had joint practice. We talked to Joe Person from The Athletic, award-winning beat reporter for the Carolina Panthers. We've had 2 games with the starters. They played against Buffalo. They played against Jacksonville. We had joint practices. First against the Jaguars, next against the Texans. So 4 exams. Joe, assess the first-team offense.
Well, bad in a word. In a word, I was, obviously yesterday is what's most at the forefront of my mind, just because I sat out there for close to 2 hours and watched it, and it was bad. It was just not good at all. And I think we probably should have seen this coming, and had this been a regular season game and we'd had the regular run up to Sunday afternoon at 1, I think we would have talked about, boy, how is the rookie tackle going to fare? And also, by the way, how's the plug-in tackle on the left side of the line going to fare against 2 of the league's better pass rushers, and Danielle Hunter and, of course, Will Anderson.
Yeah.
And Houston was the number 1 defense last year. There would have been And so I think we would have prepared your listeners and my readers a little better. But the fact that it's sort of like, boom, show up at 10 a.m. and start tweeting about how Will Anderson's sacking Bryce Young every single play, it sort of, I think, was a little jarring to fans yesterday, and maybe a little jarring watching it. I will say this, and it's a very small caveat, but I did ask, Bryce was showing some frustrations, and luckily for him, this was a practice setup where they were blowing the play dead. But he even still, he was showing his frustrations. He threw one. I think like the pocket's breaking down. He basically just threw it up for grabs. It was underthrown. It was intercepted. But Canales pulled him aside, and I found this to be interesting. He said, "Look, I get it. You're frustrated. If this were a game, there are things we could do to adjust. We'd start, running some quicker plays. We'd get you on the edge. We wouldn't just drop back in a 7-step drop. This sort of thing." And we might also chip the edge, which they did a little bit of that, Adam, yesterday, a little chipping. But for the most part, they just sort of stuck with what they were going to do. And the result was just they could do nothing against that pass rush of the Houston Texans.
Joe Person, we have more with Joe Person. Let's get to the wide receiver position for the Panthers. We know the top three. It'll be McMillan, Leggett, assuming he's healthy enough to start the season, and I'm almost positive he will be, and Coker. We know Bryson Tremaine will be part of the mix because of his prowess on special teams and blocking, but he ain't wide receiver 4. Let's make him wide receiver 6. Now we've got 2 spots. Dave Canales kind of hinted that the possibility they keep 7. Don't think they will. 2 spots. How many? Who, Joe Person?
So I think there's 4 guys who've been competing for it, and I think Jimmy Horn has played his way already onto the roster.
Okay.
He's a guy they drafted last year, had pretty good numbers with Shedeur Sanders and Coach Prime at Colorado.
Right.
Didn't do a lot as a rookie, but he's a bigger, looks a little stronger, and he's just a dynamic, fast guy. That type of speed that you can't coach. I think he makes it. He had several nice plays last week in the Jacksonville game, to include a punt return, a kick return, and an end around that went for 40 yards and a couple of receptions. So I think he's in. So then for the last spot, I think it's John Mechie, who of course had a big final college season when Bryce Young was his quarter. Hadn't done much in the pros. He's had health stuff, but he's had a good camp. David Moore is a guy that's been with Dave Canales at every stop, Seattle, Tampa, and here. I think this is where David Moore's run ends. I think they'd like to keep him around on the practice squad.
Sure.
He's a great locker room guy. So I think it's between Mechie and Jasim Reed. Jasim Reed, most of your listeners probably have never heard of him. He played at the University of San Diego, not San Diego State. He was on an academic scholarship.
Really?
Because that conference, I think it's called the Frontier League. Davidson here is in it. It runs from Davidson, North Carolina, all the way to San Diego, and it's the only. It's basically Division III football, playing like Division I AA.
Right.
But anyway, he's really good. He's interesting, and then it's sort of like, well, do you want more of a veteran who knows Bryce and Mechie, or a Jasim Reed who was undrafted last year and looks younger and has, probably a higher ceiling? He's made a lot of catches. But he has been, he's kind of had a calf injury the last week that has slowed him down. But I think those are the 2 guys going for that last spot.
I'm rooting for Mechie. I mean, the injury, I remember him at Alabama. Dude was a baller. Absolute baller. Keep 7. You can't keep David Moore. David Moore can't be in the mix. Just can't be. Again, not trying to be disrespectful to Moore or to the head coach. I mean, we're beyond a security blanket. Don't need it. Before we maybe get one more thing in here, remember we talked about the commercial that was done between Callaway and Good. The YouTube golfers who have become a major kind of, young leaning media company. They're now a media entity. They produced the commercial for a joint branded driver along with Callaway Golf. And in the commercial, they said that they were spoofing the movie Obsession, which I have not seen. And if you haven't seen it, then you'd be confused too.
Right.
Where a woman is reaching for a driver, and one of the guys from Good sees this. He doesn't want her to do that. He runs over, barrels into her, knocks her down, and then says, "Don't you keep your hands off my new driver." I get it. Do I think the reaction has been a little over the top? I do. Do I think the commercial should never aired, ever? I do. That's an error. The person at Callaway who put his rubber stamp on it, however that happened, has been fired from Callaway. Okay? Now, if there's just one person who okayed this, okay. Callaway's a pretty big company. And the people at Good obviously thought it was okay. We haven't seen any heads roll there.
No.
But there will be, and I'll tell you why. And I'm not talking about in terms of a firing, but think about this. Good, I don't know what the company is worth, but they have certainly hit it big. They hit it big enough to sponsor a PGA Tour event coming up in the fall. We have not heard whether or not the PGA Tour is going to go through with that sponsorship, but we do know this. Callaway just ended their relationship with Good. So that joint branded driver either is gone or the Good brand has come off of it.
Right.
And Callaway will either join forces with somebody else or they'll just pump it out as a Callaway driver. So that part is over. And what I read about Good the other day was that the 75% of their revenue now comes from apparel sales, Target, Dick's Sporting Goods, Golf Galaxy, and PGA Tour Superstore. If you're a golfer, certainly those last three you go to for golf stuff. Maybe you buy apparel there. I don't know. Target, maybe you do. I mean, you can buy clothes at Target. Nothing wrong with that. I have purchased, trying to think, I was looking down. Actually, the T-shirt I'm wearing right now.
Oh, okay.
Well,
there you go.
It's a Target T-shirt. Anyway, nothing wrong with it at all. But those four retailers, four pretty big retailers, I would argue maybe Good's four largest retailers all pulled their stuff from the shelves.
Not good for them.
So, except not Good. So Good loses the deal with Callaway. They lose four, I'm going to guess, their four largest retailers. Huge chunk of their income. And my guess is, and frankly, it might be Good going to the PGA Tour and saying, we can't sponsor this now. Like, I don't wish this on them. I think that what they did was it irresponsible? It was bro-ish. It was insensitive, but I will fall short of calling it egregious. Because I do think that we get a little oversensitive, and I understand why. Like, the people say, this is glorifying domestic violence. Look, I'm not going to tell anybody how to feel. But I did not see it to that extreme. What I saw it as was sophomoric and frat boyish. I didn't see it as damaging, but I totally understand if you do. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's not the way I took it. I did take it as, that shouldn't have aired. That should have never made it to anybody's television or internet. So we'll stay tuned for more of that. All right. Wes Durham will join us tomorrow on the program. And Justin Williams. What? What a show. See ya.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodnecker, and I'm there.